And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the final day of the night's Gauntlet. I will be one of your cast for the evening ravishing grabbers, the most ravishing man on the internet, joined here by my side by the ever so gorgeous Senior K. What's up with you, baby?
Oh, stop it. We talked about this before the game even began. I mean, we're both beautiful here, but I think you take the prize.
Stop it. No, I don't. I deserve no prizes. I actually have none at all right now. But that don't matter right now here, K. What does matter is what we got going on today.
Absolutely. And before we get into things, though, we do have to thank a very beautiful and hot sponsor as well, called eBay. And you can't win your game without the gear. So get exactly what you need from eBay, all up to 50% off. Brand new gaming tech from brands like Microsoft, Sony, Razer, and more. Plus, free shipping and free returns is a blessing when it comes to eBay as well. So press play and shop for eBay. And you can check out the deals at pks.gg/eBay. And a small little note, pretty much all of this is eBay. It's amazing. I love it so much.
Wow, I own nothing in my room. Maybe I should probably go shop at eBay. Ha, I can't wait. And you should as well. But you know what, Max? Of course, thanks to eBay, we have, of course, gotten ourselves into the final day of matches. We have semifinals up next, along with grands to follow shortly afterwards, being two best of threes to round out our entire day. But let's talk a bit about how we got here, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's look and see how we got to this place here, because we have some very interesting teams up into the semis as well. A lot of people behind the scenes were saying, hey, I'm a little surprised we've seen some of these teams make all their way to the semifinals, and I kind of agree and disagree. Historically speaking, back in the old days of, 2021, Soniqs were always in this spot, fighting for semis and grand finals, but the most interesting team out of these four, that being Soniqs, Dark Zero, Oxygen Academy, the outlier here with no org representation is Together We Are Terrific. And I gotta say, as a pairing, they've been pretty terrific so far, Ravish.
So far now, TWT have been tearing it up so far in the tier 2 free agency scene as we've seen them, considering how they've knocked through some pretty heavy hitters just to get here. But especially, you can look at Basilisk as well being one of them. They also be C9 previously in groups. So I think they are most definitely here to play. And with a roster of all-star studded crew, I know TWT is very excited for the challenge up against Soniqs. And also another big thing, Max, right? You already mentioned it, but these are the only unsigned teams within our top 4. So hey, sign them, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if they win a tournament like this, that'll be a huge bump up in interest and opportunities to maybe get signed if they're not in talks already. Now, you're probably wondering why we're talking so much about Together We Are Terrific, right? Well, it's because on the mainstream, we're going to be covering Soniqs versus Together We Are Terrific, and then the grand finals after. On the side stream Knights Arena, we do have Dark Zero versus Oxygen Academy as well. Honestly, I think both series are going to be absolute bangers, but the big core difference again, and we're going to focus back over the Together We Are Terrific, is that, again, having that small little underdog story of an unsigned team maybe taking it all from the grand finals will be gigantic to see. And I gotta say, there's gonna be a lot of interesting things we gotta talk about before we even get into game.
And yet again, this is a story of 5 friends coming together just to see how far they can go, which is one of the biggest things I love about Valorant, because at this current point in time, if you are just 5 homies, you can make a team and make a giant run for it. And right now, they're looking quite good to be able to do so. Winning Knights, like you already said, Max, would be a fantastic statement. But before that, they have to get through Soniqs.
They do. They have to get through Soniqs, and this is going to be where it gets interesting, right? The map vetoes between TWT and Soniqs is going to be paramount for possibly TWT's success. There's 2 different routes the team could take if they start up the map vetoes on their end. Either they could go for the limited maps they've been running since the end of Challengers and maybe play into their own strengths of maps that they've run so many different times. But the issue is, a lot of the maps that they're strong with on TWT are also in the favor of Soniqs themselves. One big pivotal area is that there's a lot of maps in the last few months TWT have not played at all. That means no footage, no potential for counter strats, maybe outside of scrims. There's a lot of unknown factors. There's a lot of gaping holes in our data here for TWT, but there is one small little catch. If TWT wants to play away from the maps they've already been shown so far in the Knights tournament and even previous tournaments, that means they have to go into the very limited visible pool of maps that Soniqs have themselves. And what I mean by that is that so far, Soniqs in this championship alone have barely played any maps outside of a core 3. And that's going to make the vetoes really interesting to see, because some of those unknown maps for both teams have to be played.
Right, yeah, and so let's just dive right into the actual map veto, shall we, Max? Let's not try to beat around any more bushes here. As I've got my
Which route are they
trimmers
gonna
out,
take?
I want clear vision. So far, exactly like you were mentioning, is that the way they're going down is right towards the maps they have not played at all. That being Bind, Fracture, and Haven, which I'm having both these guys play, but not the point. Bind and Fracture are the two more important ones.
This is really scary for both teams. Keep in mind, again, like we said, Bind, a map we have not seen Together We Are Terrific play in a very long time. When they've only played it, looking as far back as the data can go, there's only one instance of them winning, and that's back when they had a different roster, and that was so long ago, but they did have a 100% success rate. Can you take that into account? I say no. I think it's a fresh slate for both teams. The issue, though, is that Soniqs historically, in that 2-ish month period, have also won out of 11 times, they've won 9 of them. So there is a lot of strengths for Soniqs to play into this here, and that's going to be really scary. And could you believe, Ravish, that's only map number 1?
Yeah, and considering now we're going up because now we're going to Fracture up next, and now Fracture, neither of these teams have actually played very much, and I find Fracture can be a map that is a giant question mark in between them. I believe I was actually hearing with some of the pros talking about how Fracture is, and they call it a coin flip. Because it is, although it's attacker sided, let's say you have to actually commit to one side every single time, and if you have to rotate, it takes 5 years to do so. So, from what I see, I think Fracture could realistically go either way, and personally, I'm in it for the fun because TWT, they're likely going to show us a brand new face that nobody's ever seen, and I don't know if Soniqs has been able to prepare for what nobody's seen yet at this point.
It's going to be scary. If you're Soniqs, you have to prepare for this Fracture matchup the night before, because the only time we've seen Together We're Terrific play this matchup has been in the earlier version of this tournament. But speaking about those really slow rotates, right, Ravish? Fracture and Haven will struggle with the same issue for both sides that are on the defensive. So either we see a very aggressive defense for both maps, 2 and potentially 3 if we get there, or we might just be stuck with a 2-0 from one team or another, where those rotates could still be an issue. Yeah. For me, this entire set, Ravish, I'm looking at the attacking prowess for all of these teams. If they can play fast, if they can play coordinated and use their utility to engage into a fight, this will be a very close series.
Especially considering TWT are on the defense first on Bind as well. So putting up a strong side first 10 to make sure they can possibly go even, they can be against Soniqs on Bind especially. And then it comes down to the attacking half, exactly like you were saying at TWT. They've been very, very aggressive. Now, from what I've seen so far in a couple different iterations of their roster, they specialize on deciding that we're just going to take confident gunfights so consistently that it will not matter if we're down a map or 2, if we're down 4 rounds. It's a you know what it is? It is a very Zeta Division type of play. It's they decide, let's just run in and see what happens. And so far, it's working quite well.
It's interesting where the philosophies for attacking rounds have come into Valorant right now, because it feels like we have a lot of those Zeta Division rounds, a lot of lurky plays, a lot of solo plays where you just kind of go in and hope for the best. But then there's more of styles like Exit for their own attacks on Haven, right? Soniqs love to employ the same strategy, and of course that's map 3, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but a lot of attacking maps now that we see favor these slower plays where everyone's bunched up together, they look for information on those nasty, dastardly defenders, then they push in with their utility and take over a site like it's nobody's business. That's what we got to watch out for Fracture and Haven, and we might see hints of it on Bind, but I think Bind is a bit of an outlier here for map 1.
Yeah, especially considering, because I hate it. That's why it's an outlier. But,
Me too.
But besides that, just bring back Split. Stop it. Stop playing with me, Riot. I don't want Bind. But side point, yeah, it's Bind is cool, right? It can kind of be a bit of a toss-up, but hey, I'll leave it up to the pros to be able to decide what they want to do. Now, with that being said, we got Agent Selection in front of us, and we seem to have my wife on both these teams.
Oh yeah, with the gray hair. I love Fade. She's amazing. I love her aesthetic. She's like Reina, but like how edgy can we make Reina, right? And I think it just works unbelievably well. But you know what works out really well as well? There's actually not a lot of wild agents being selected, especially from Soniqs' side. They're staying true to form from what they've normally ran pretty much the entirety of the last 2 months for their side. But when it comes to TWT, there are some small changes. Now, there used to be a lovely Yoru player all the time on TWT, right? But now the ethos is gone. There isn't really as much Yoru play in that realm. So there will be some changes historically to the grand, what we can expect to see for TWT. And it's more in line from what we traditionally see in the meta of Valorant right now. You have your double initiator, you have a lot of entry potential off of Pure's Raze, and then there's more of that steady support and fragging power behind Calypso and Anderson.
So you're telling me that you're actually not going to entry with your chamber, Max? Are you trolling?
You got entry with a fade, man. You just got to run in, hope for the best with her little ghosty ghosts. Easy clap.
Yeah, with her little eyeball, with her little eye of Sauron that she has up there. Yeah, it's fine.
I would love to get a tattoo of her haunt. Like when it's up in the air, I think that'd be amazing.
Dude, that should be so sick, right? But, hey, we're in. We're semifinals. Map 1. Soniqs TWT. Going up against one another, and things should be starting off with a real blast. You know, I always imagine when I say that I'm almost emulating Deidara from Naruto.
Oh, I've never watched Naruto.
You haven't watched anything.
I know. I've watched Evangelion.
Okay, you know what? That's cool. I'll let that go because Evangelion is awesome.
It's the best anime.
That's
But
debatable.
you're right, though. It's going to be starting off on a blast, right? We should expect to see a very early entry from both Shank and maybe even an aggressive defense from Pure. I think this will be toe-to-toe, an absolute bloodbath in the first round. And going out of B-Long, well, we're certainly seeing that.
Yes, sir. I mean, Calypso should be able to keep away pretty easily. Just get caught by the haunt and moves away. The little doggy can't find him. Now, they know Aleko's here. It's going to be a matter of timing as to whether or not when he chooses to peek through. And he finds the perfect timing as well. Ian gets taken out, and the doggy finds another, but although he's flashed on the other side of B-Long, they still manage to trade pretty evenly as it's down to 3v3.
Yeah, I love Aleko's use of the Fade utility early on, especially through the TP to hide themselves in their location. It's going to be 2 left alive, though. A 2v2. Not a lot of action happening except for on Calypso's end. He doesn't have any more bullets in his trademark, but he's good for 3 and could certainly make it a 4 off the right click. Beautiful jump and right click there from the classic. I mean, we all love the classic, right?
Bro, I mean,
Totally.
like, you would have thought that the classic was called the Headhunter with the way he shot those 2 bodies right in front of him. That was impressive nonetheless. But yeah, I wouldn't say easy defense, but one that we kind of expected to go TWT's favor because we did mention before they do specialize in very much of these hog style plays, right? When things get messy, that's where they tend to thrive, right? In between the chaos. Now, Soniqs on this anti-eco, I imagine they should be pulling a lot of the same strats, right? There's days that get through this round and try to do as much damage as possible as Calypso peeks out, doesn't find the shot, but finds Crunchy.
Wealth of info at least find Crunchy's position. Smokes will have to be nearby B. That means the rest of Soniqs should be around B side as well. The slow rotate from Mame is coming by over to B side, but it might be too little too late. The trademark has been tripped. The smokes go down. There's no pushing power for Sonic's side right now.
So just waiting, okay, finally the repeat right from Calypso will mean that he gets caught, but Mame now has to try to look to defend being long, but then being attacked from 2 different ends. As both dogs going out, they manage to at least trade evenly. Well, I should say more so in TWT's favor. Although they lose 1 though. Aleko's moving up behind. He finds them, but he's up against 2. Now Pierre has to come for the cleanup. But yet again, he's pincered once more. It doesn't necessarily matter as he switches targets back, left, right, and center, getting 4.
Not only 1 4K for round 1, but now 2 4Ks for round 2. That doesn't equal 3 4Ks in total. It's 1 for each round. And so far, I really like how TWT have been playing their defense. Yes, it's only been 2 rounds, but having that anchoring potential from Aleko and having 2 initiators in general to just anchor each respective site is so strong to counter out the rotates we often see on Bind. Aleko on Pistol was really aggressive because oftentimes on Pistol, we don't really see those kinds of rotates from one side to another, especially as far deep as Hookah, but just having again that anchor potential and that early information outside of A site is so strong. And again, we see a little bit of that in Showers, but Shank, he's going in, he wants to find Aleko.
I mean, Shock yet again forced away, but considering all the util dump that was thrown right at him will mean that they will try to peek this, and yep, Alec gets taken down. Seems as though Rooney was ready for the peek again up here. Can he recreate the same success that he had up against these here rifles? And so far right now, Soniqs will take the initial pick and move back.
There's no dedication from Soniqs yet to push into a site. They have very little map control and very little spacing. Though if they do want to rotate, they have to watch out for Chamber over on the rotate. That's going to be incredibly pivotal. That's a sharp corner. It's tough to push into, but there's also one way, helping out Enjoy a little bit more to scope out what they want to do. There's no util dump yet from Together We Are Terrific. They're waiting to see who breaks the mold first as Showers pushes up.
Jump peek from Hure, and he just does not have enough time to get away. Concuss does its job, and now Soniqs with a man advantage will look to try to move in, but just looking to hold on Showers. Mummy is ready to spray, connects. That's two right off the rip.
Incredibly strong. The reroute back to V. Now, there is a lot of pinching potential from Together We Are Terrific. It's more about finding that information, especially Calypso in the back. That's going to be incredibly difficult. A lot of map control there. And there's Anderson as well. Right on elbow side.
Ooh. You know where Rooney is, considering the flash worked out, and now he's playing a little bit of bunker duty. But he's gonna get forced out eventually, looking to hide and bar the lead between these corners, but up against two, there's not a ton he can do. Rooney taken out, and TWT off to a hot start.
Really, really nice so far. And Soniqs, the big crux of what we're seeing so far has been just catching out these rotates and off-putting Soniqs positioning. The util usage that we're seeing for the initiation of pushing a site has been good. The momentum has been varying round after round from Soniqs' end, but Together We're Terrific, even if it's, again, 3 rounds in, they're responding in the appropriate fashion about what is expected of them. No one's overheating, no overextension, and so far, all that utility is playing directly to hinder Soniqs rather than just going for like a hero play, right?
Yeah, because as of right now, because Soniqs seems to be just caught out in the beginning, although they get these early picks, it does seem as though that these two-man trades are really going unfortunately for themselves. Calypso yet again forced away, and Mummy looking to hold again as he himself is looking for a flash, and seems as though the Trailblazer finds at least one. Wow, that's cool.
We'll let the dogs out, right?
God,
oh, Calypso's angle.
Shot connects easy. The flash in as well too will force him into the corner, but Sean at least gets him away. That's the up down. Now Rooney cannot move in. All the pressure taken away will mean the 3v3 on the site immediately goes in the favor of Soniqs. The plank goes down, and now TLBT has to find a way to move in. The flash connects onto both of them, and they're still inside the bunker. Not Pure. And has to try to up to him to try to entry first, but my man has no flashes. He sees one crunch, he gets him. Suddenly this round is going a bit more worried. Remember, this is a save for Soniqs too. And this makes it that much better. The force out of the corner. The ult doesn't connect onto anybody. They don't know where they are at all. Max, they have no idea. Anderson's just guessing. Oh, but the paranoia gets them all.
They won the war, but the battle was lost with that orbital strike. Trying to clear out the spacing from Hookah's side, there was no information Soniqs had about the last two alive from Together Were Terrific. It was a random guess on an eco round too to make sure the odds went in Soniqs' favor to gain their very first round. I mean, it's a bit of a desperate measure, right? But it worked out at least to help the spacing, right? You get rid of one option, there's still two more to focus on, and Soniqs did end up winning the round. But now if there's any future post plans for at least a few rounds, Crunchy won't be able to use that orbital strike. He's got to rely on the mollies for the lineup instead, and that might take him out of the battle for the post plan. Let's see. What can Rooney bring out here? Early Prowler. Doesn't connect to a whole lot, but there is smokes in return. It's a one-way. Doesn't look like Shank wants to play around into it too much, but there is a beautiful Nightmare Ray that come on by. Anderson on top. Oh, but this is going to be a bloodbath again, Ravish.
Stuck on the side once more, and it's an easy pickup for Shock. Know exactly where Mame is. Now the site cleared out once again. It seems as though that after a couple of rounds, Stonks has finally found their footing. Late dumping means the TLBT holding these super aggressive angles get punished for consistently easy reads, and now will let go. Towards the side, moving to elbow, up against a lot of opposition. They're gonna have to find a way to move as one, but look at this. Jammer is all the way on, still on A site. I think they're looking to save at least, or maybe just do a little bit of damage on what they can, but I don't know if TWT wants to actually try to commit to this.
And this is the big struggle for the defensive meta right now for Valorant, right? You don't have a lot of Sentinels presence outside of Chamber. More often than not, for a lot of teams, you have to rely on that initiative utility to just slow down these attacking pushes, and that leads to a lot of util dumps. You have to discover a lot of the times where these attacking teams will push in from, and given how many lanes, or even on a small map like a Bind, that's a lot of information you have to bring out for defense, especially with limited utility. So waiting for the push-up, oftentimes retakes are kind of necessary on a small map like Bind, but with Soniqs being able to bide their time, use some of that utility, and wait out oftentimes those smokes and just push in afterwards, that helps out a lot for making sure these attacking executes can work out unbelievably well. And TWT, they might be in trouble after this next round. If they can't win this next one out, they might be looking at an eco again. And Soniqs are only one round off from tying things up. We could see that 4-3 split.
Continuing forward to even things up. Now Soniqs wants to make this competitive as well. As he puts out the eye, it's just a little bit off, so it doesn't manage to catch anybody at all. But this is an interesting sort of split up that they have. They're focusing a lot of their attention towards short, but at long they're keeping their eye on ensuring that TWT can't push up against them so far. And right now, the smoke's going down. They're looking to push all the way through Hookah. They find Aleko, and no shots connect onto him, but it's more than enough to at least dissuade them from pushing right in. But Aleko's gonna be up against 3 different people if he actually decides to pick this. He has no util. He's caught in the corner, but manages to make his way all the way to the side. Nobody catches him, but now there's 2 ready to go. EWT find their first, but need to find more.
Look at these players coming by. 1v1's being traded out. Really looking good in TWD's favor. Good shrouded step to come by. And what I loved about that defensive play was that Hookah was the only way Soniqs could push into the site. So they're forced to rotate over to A directly in the middle of all these sky smokes.
Easy for now, though. Sky Smokes, it will at least ensure that he plants blind, which is unfortunate. But managed to get the spike down at least. Gourmet left to the corner. All right, does his job well, and now they still have UL control. So now Soniqs, specifically Crunchy, has to do literally everything. With all the smokes down, like you mentioned, Max, it's gonna be up to Anderson, and it's an easy find.
The beginning of that round was really interesting because what TWT did, especially Anderson, was they early smoked up. Well, they flashed early B long, right? And that found a little bit of information immediately after we saw a dark cover smoke come out in B long, and that created a giant funnel for everybody on TWT to know that B long was a safety zone. If Soniqs had to push into B long, they would have to use utility or blindly push through the smoke directly into the eyes of Pure. That means Hookah was the only way to attack, and Aleko, only having to worry about that one funnel, felt so confident to push into the site and just stall the time and force out the rotate from Soniqs into A site. It forces Soniqs to play a special hand that that TWT is specifically crafting for them, and we're seeing that evolve every single round. And now we actually see Anderson doing the same exact strat, but over at A site. That leaves 2 different lanes open to push into B site, and there's 3 different bodies to compensate from TWT.
I like upon the early info that at least they know that with 2 people being right outside B short again will mean that they'll choose to back away, but the invested Rolling Thunder, there's a nightmare as well. Shank goes in and finds one easily. He's still stuck towards the side. He can't see nothing, but it won't matter because now Pure moves in. That's 3 for him to get every single member off the site, but the spike still goes down. They got that plant money, but it won't matter because Ian is dead and Anderson gets them all.
These are some great reads coming out from TWT so far, and early on, it was looking good for Soniqs to take the site, because TWT, their retakes haven't really been a lot so far. I mean, I guess you could count this one round as a retake, sort of to an extent, but it was more of the patience of allowing that spike to go down in order to have a safer time to contest the final 2v2. That means now Soniqs only have A site to barely contest and see what kind of poking a product can be for discoverability. B site, it's been shut down multiple different times now, 3 of which on defuses. And it looks like we may be seeing one of our first few defaults from Soniqs so far, and having that early potential play, especially utility-wise off of Rooney inside of showers, will be really interesting to see how the different pieces align.
Up down Calypso's hands, using that to shoot the boombot once more will force him to relocate back again onto the B side. What a cool, fun ability. Side note though, but will look at a bit more the default setup from Soniqs. So they're not overcommitting onto any sort of funnel yet again. Playing it a lot slower. Hoping TWT checks them.
And look at how long Soniqs are taking to push into a site. There's still plenty of time to push the site, but all those positions from TWT are getting more and more set. Now Rooney's gonna throw out the Haunt. Should discover at least, no, it shouldn't discover anybody. Might be able to find Raze off the site, but it's just the Execution City.
A 3-stack towards long and right into the cubby goes. Pure is off with Rooney being gone will mean that Soniqs are stuck on the outside looking in once again. But Ian with a trade will make things a lot more even. These rounds get so bloody here, Keg. I can never truly tell who's gonna come out on top. And there we go, the bind TP being put out. Aleko sees them moving over. Enjoys super low, but won't necessarily matter as they have the opportunity to at least get the plant down. Nice aftershock. Oh, they're waiting for him to peek. That's 2v1.
That was such a great way of taking control of the momentum again. Aleko's forced to save here. That final interaction off of the aftershock, realizing that TWT loved the pinch on the defense, was a great just game sense play from Ian. Going for the aftershock, positioning himself so instead we would have to see the wide swing come out from Calypso instead. Just a really good micro interaction play. Aleko might be trying to go for it still though. There's still at least a little bit of time left. It might be a little tough though. Haunt coming by, the Prowler and Elbow, both wrong guesses. The fault line comes through and it's Enjoy to find the final strike. TWT and Soniqs, they've been going neck after neck with each other on B side and it just feels like a different chess puzzle every single time.
It was a 50-50 chance of where he actually checked with the Haunt and he decides to choose Elbow considering it makes sense for the breach, but considering it makes sense with the breach being there, but unfortunately, he loses the bet. Don't go to the casino tonight. But hey, like you were saying, this is what makes this game a lot more exciting. I thought he might have just moved over to at least just take the yacht, but now TWT haven't forced themselves into what I like call like a potluck buy. Like you take what you can get at this point. They do have the ultimate from Anderson, but it's not gonna do them much good, and barely any util to actually work with.
This is the one round so far where TWT have not used their smokes as a sentinel utility. They haven't slowed down Soniqs at all, and look how much map pressure they gained so early on. It's Aleko in the back. Shanka's in a great position for the counter rotate. Spike hasn't gone down yet, however. Look at Rooney, they're stuck and tethered away.
Calypso actually did manage to get spotted over by the B side, but Knights rotating over. Spike's still not down yet, but Crunchy being gone will mean that the Sky Smokes won't necessarily matter anymore, but slow consistently, Pure just peppering them. And it seems he's season 2 of the players enough.
One enemy remaining.
Soniqs now, Spike gone will mean that the round is handily in TWT's favor. And Shank is the final, the drop.
Utility, utility, utility. That's the name of the game now when it comes to Valorant, and I love it because, again, using all this utility, you don't necessarily need a dedicated sentinel beyond a chamber in instances where you have that team coordination. Using Anderson's dark cover smokes as that utility to slow down and prevent a push against Soniqs is pretty much what the role of a sentinel is. And then at times too, Aleko with his utility holding back and tethering the spike to prevent that plant going down, it just makes things living chaos for Soniqs to push into a site. And Soniqs, they've been going kind of back and forth, or at least pushing the B multiple times. That's why we see a 3-stack off of B in an aggressive play. It's actually Soniqs, though, that changed the tides. They're looking to push A instead, or at least maybe some utility. Joy with that tour de force, though. That makes me nervous. It's up to Calypso, the 2 chambers, to really make the first move.
Face your fear!
There we go, there's a Nightfall coming in, but Enjoy finds the first. Pierre was hoping to peek right off of that, and Shank, easy movement through showers will mean that the A side is handily once again in Soniqs' favor. We're talking a lot about that B control, but A seems to be where they currently favor, especially based on these big ultimates. Now, at 3v5, this isn't impossible, but it's so tough.
Yeah, this is gonna be really tough. It was TWT who guessed wrong about where Soniqs would push, and now they're being punished for it heavily. There is a flank though. Anderson good for one. A trade from Enjoy instead. It's up to Mame now and Aleko, the last 2 alive.
They're all so spread out, especially with 3 of them refocused right into U-Haul. Will mean that Mame may have an inkling that, okay, they have to try to clear that out first, but they're thinking there's no way to actually do it. Jump peek works out, and Shank actually wins the 1v1, forcing Aleko away. Last one left alive once again, putting Soniqs up to 4. Slowly but surely catching up.
Yeah, it's really a battle of the agent placements in the beginning of the round here. Again, we saw TWT put the majority of their pieces, or I guess players, right, outside of B, looking for that aggressive play early on, expecting Soniqs to be on the other end of the dark cover. That wasn't the case, and it left kind of TWT holding the bag, wondering, well, where are they going to go? It was Soniqs who changed it up again and played more aggressive than we've seen before. And the money for Soniqs, though, being able to get these back and forth rounds have been working out in their favor. Both teams suffering a little bit with the light shield plays, but there is Crunchy with the Guardian. I want to keep an eye on him to see what kind of impact it could be and how his pacing will be for the round. Is he going to be playing slow and more defensive with it? We'll have to wait and see.
Echo played this actually super aggressively and interestingly because he pushed all the way through the TP, and considering they found nobody A means that 5 stack that they have right outside the B side should work out pretty easily. But only being gone, caught by Echo flanking the super long haul, mean that him now is most definitely stuck, forced out, and done so. Easy trades, and now with the CWT have the confidence to be able to move in and stuff them back into spawn, push into the more like a mad lad. Is pure. Fire doesn't affect his feet. He walks through cores every day.
Keep in mind, there's no Aftershock, no Molly, and no Orbital Strike for Soniqs to work with in this post plan. There is a showstopper, though, from Pure. If they can take down Crunchy, not only is that good to take away those invisible utilities for post plant, but also just find so much of the odds.
Worst the ways, Crunchy and easy stop. Nice little jiggle peek from Pure. I mean, that is just 2 left. Now, usually from disadvantage, Soniqs has not been able to do well, but enjoy making sure that they want to put the odds back in their favor. So 2v2, Spike is taken. Oh, but he just saw him.
Showstopper?
Wasn't enough. Pure has tried to commit to get one, but enjoy just faster with it.
Really nice to see. It was a scary final post plant, or just a regular post plant for Soniqs, because again, there was no post plant utility at all. Pure found that pick against Crunchy, and even if there was a lineup in play, that wouldn't have been used anymore. So it left Soniqs stranded on an island, but they were able to take advantage of the fact that TWT had no trade ability. It was Calypso on the other side of A little bit of a Lecco action as well, not able to really find much impact pushing into the site in the post plant. Lecco was taken down by the Orbital Strike, and Calypso, forced to push into A site, could not trade off a Pure at all. So the stack up again is met with a full default from Soniqs, and early utility in showers proves that nothing is there. It's Anderson by himself on A, and this is not a setup we've seen yet from TWT, but it looks like now this might be a tantalizing option for Soniqs to push into, but it's already too late. The rotate's been called, Ravish. TWT, they've already stacked up 3 on the site, waiting for that push in.
I love that word, tantalizing, by the way. It's attractive, almost as attractive as Chamber. But still, it does more than enough damage, but 2 taken away. They still want to try to blind it. You all control the scope in, but Crunchy's faster with it. And now their own showstopper will allow them to trade it back. All these big ults so early on will force Soniqs away again. And it seems as though in these heavy investment rounds is where you find Soniqs on the back foot, but they still somehow come out on top. But a let go, luckily winning that one will mean that this round should be theirs in 3v1. Ian, I don't know what a lot of he can do. He has, okay, he does have a forma. It's oh, and he gets one, trades away.
Imagine a different reality where Ian was able to escape Calypso's line of sight just a fraction of a second earlier. That could have been a 1v2 or an individual 1v1s that Ian probably could have won. But that's in the multiverse, that's in a whole different reality. But it goes to show how close these rounds can be and what the difference of spacing and utility in combination can really bring out. That being said, though, we have swapped sides. TWT on the attack now. They have relatively the same composition as Soniqs as well, so the big macro style play about how a team wants to push will pretty much come down to how the team feels comfortable doing so, rather than being limited or unlimited by their utility. I'm mostly curious to see what Anderson can bring. The core difference out of everything we have here is the Brimstone versus the Omen. Omen has faster smokes, that could lead to faster executes as well. And there is that solo roam as well from TWT that we didn't really get to see from Soniqs either, especially on a pistol round from Lecco. He does find a lot of early info, but that's way off. Oh, hello, not in the distance anymore. That being said, it's a slow pistol from TWT.
Where are you?
Dollars exchanged outside of showers, but like you said, it is very on characteristic round, you'd say, from both these teams, especially DWT on the attack. Gonna inch their way closer and closer towards B, the spike slay in their hands as it moves through long, but the initial trade going the way of Pure is so big. This means they can rush right in. Now Crunchy has to be the one to slow things down. He's inside of the smoke, but with Ian going down, he doesn't have a chance in hell. And
look
with
at these
just
slow
two left,
rotates.
2 WT, man.
So slow rotates here. Pushing in possibly 1 by 1. There's no chance for Soniqs to save either. They get more money by dying. But all the positions are set for TWT. They can just simply swing and find 1. Almost make it 2.
I mean, they tried. They're their damnedest, and you know what? That's good enough as right now. But TWT somehow managing to firmly keep their 3-round lead after all that. Impressive nonetheless, and they'll continue to dominate against Soniqs. And remember, the biggest thing out of all this is an unsigned team of phenomenal players who are making such an insane run. And right now, they truly are showing why they deserve more eyes on themselves.
See, you just beat me to it. I was about to say the same exact thing. TWT are looking great right now. Now, keep in mind, mostly former players here have that professional experience, but working together without necessarily like coaching presence or having that, resources behind them, it's still very, very impressive. Look at Anderson's response. Playing off double contact here. The rush through. Soniqs, they're getting mowed down. And there's only 1 left alive. It's up to Rooney. Classic in hand. No real reason to save now. Just maybe trying to bait out a kill for a rotate. And Aleko possibly even another pure. Well, it was a good attempt from Rooney at least, right?
Yeah, I don't know about you, man. You had way more hope than I did. Ain't nothing happening there, bro.
We talked about the classic before. Just a simple right click to the head, not checking our corners. It's a tale as old as Valorant's time.
Beauty and the Beast. That's it. But realistically, we did what they could. And now 9-5 TWT. This is where, if they win this, and that means they are firmly set to likely win this map. Now, more than likely, but Soniqs aren't too far behind. This was a gun round, and they did actually come out on top previously.
Mark 2.
But who am I to think it's a double push through showers as they have the split push alongside A. Shock looks to make initial contact. The Prowler doesn't find much, but there we go. He gets forced away into the corner. S3 are still looking to press upon A. No rotate pulled over just yet as they make the push in. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but Enjoy is holding down U-Haul. He finds down 3, and TWT are nowhere to be seen.
Ooh, I loved early on where we saw Soniqs playing off utility before swinging into showers. That was really smart. Oftentimes in the beginning for TWT's own defense, sure, we'd see those dark covers being extended long ranges, but then there would be an extensive follow-up of traveling down B long, looking for the fight. Soniqs are playing a lot more defensive, and needingly so, their eco wasn't looking that great up until this now upcoming round. But just being able to play off the utility, play coordinated, have those double peaks like we've been consistently seeing in this half is a really strong factor and could shut down TWT. That being said, the adaptation here that we see from TWT is a bit of a default again. Leko on that lurk, 2 groups of 2 pushing through both avenues of A. And Prowler having a bit of an odd time as well, but there's a lot of early contention inside of showers.
That was actually really cool, but just the fact that they're playing so close to TP will mean that Soniqs come out on top of that, and they get stuffed outside of spawn in itself. This creative play from Soniqs could really be what throws a wrench into the plan. And that was really fun to see. Now TWT are stuck on the outside. It's left spike in their hand, but Pure is up against 4. He might be able to get 1 out of this, and he does so. So he gets his, maybe 2. They could just double peek this alongside Rooney. Flash is available. And the Haunt doesn't find him, but they should know exactly where he's coming from. Flash doesn't connect, but he's stuck in between 3. Oh, Pure.
There's no idea about Rooney.
Yeah, they don't know. He's looking to check every corner. He doesn't know where Rooney is. And he's going to wait this out. There's no way, right? There's no way. Season. Easy.
That's 1.
Boom. Ian.
30 seconds left.
I think Ian just biding his time. Playing up utility first, really smart. The straight shot. No bullets connected in that small skirmish. And now look at this. It's a complete pincer.
Stuck in the corner. He has to win this up against Ian. He wants to try to do this, but The both is looking to try to pinch him, like you said. He was against Iron, but the swing! Oh, the swing from him. It was almost a 4v1 clutch.
It was really, really close. And the patience that we had seen from TWT, Pure especially, pushing in the B site, was so well done, all things considered. The Boombot would have revealed Pure's position. The nades, whatever utility was left beyond the Boombot as well, would all be incredibly revealing. And that's usually the first thing that we would see. The utility come out, then creating the space, but instead just slowly cycling through the site, finds Rooney off guard, all those plays. That's what you need to do in a situation like that. But we're not going to see much of a default this time around. It's actually kind of the similar lurky plays from Aleko again, outside of showers. Before, Soniqs lost a round in this same exact setup. It was a baited rotate over to A site, but looks like Soniqs, though, not this time, falling for the same tricks. They're holding their ground on both A and B site and waiting for the inevitable push-up, wherever it may be.
All right, Peter, that was kind of nuts. Okay, he just finds the wall bang from right in the corner. I'm assuming he must have jump peek or his hair or something. But hey, without working out, TWT on this save, if they can get this, this will be a big round back for themselves after a very close one too. I'm sure they have some momentum really flowing through them. But enjoy on the top this is going to be the biggest threat to themselves. And yep, bye-bye.
Great read. Oh, great shot. Okay. Okay, my man.
All right. They could probably get guns in their hands from this too, and they know. I see where he is. The option necessarily a factor. Shock stuck on there in the corner. He'll jump up, shot down. How did that not kill him? But it's still more than enough. Now it's just enjoy. The flash finds him, and all they gotta do is just watch that corner. They watch that corner and they find him. It's ready. Pure gets him. Get out of there.
TWT, they've made their way to double digits now. 10-7. And the buys again, while full, for at least one team, is looking a little sketchy for Soniqs. Now, the good thing that Soniqs have, though, on their anti-eco, whatever, hot pot round like you said, the best they can do maybe is use their leverage of the full ultimates to take over a site, or at least hold a site. That means the Rolling Thunder, the Orbital Strike, we could see a lot of these ults that we normally see for post-plant come out ridiculously early to dissuade and push back the aggressive attacks that TWT have been bringing out for the majority of these rounds. Either early round or mid round that we might see it. Enjoy does miss that first shot, but the read is there about Aleko's somewhat lurky play, but it's a full rotate from Soniqs regardless. They haven't seen anybody on B side yet.
By the way, that's cap. I don't know how that shot didn't connect, but exactly like you're saying. The all move over, 3-man unit, 1 by 1, hurrah, and huzzah! Anderson gets one with a new gun skin as well, which is oh so nice. The second ready to go, and again! It's another one again. Rolling Thunder, force them back. No shot connects, and the showstopper as well goes wide. It's an easy cleanup from there as they all get forced off the site. It's 2 left for TWT. It's not the worst of positions they've been in, and with the spike still in their hands, it will mean they can still probably do this. We'll make a flash out and peek this, but considering how far back you see the Fade is playing, I don't know how probable it's going to be.
There's 40 seconds left on the clock, Ravish. 10-7, still wants to hold on to this lead. What TWT normally does when they're stuck in situations like this is that they just stop. They play slow, wait for Soniqs to make a move, second guess themselves, and go for the rotate. And 2 of which have already rotated back over the B. It's up to TWT now in their court. Together we're terrific. They have to be together for this to see where they want to push next. It's stuck inside mid though, still waiting for a potential flank. So little time. It looks like no execute's going to be the favor for TWT in this next round. They're going to hold on to their weapons because, again, the eco has been looking incredibly scary for both teams in these last few rounds. Just holding on to a Vandal, holding on to that lead. It's no big deal, right? But they might be caught out soon if they keep employing the same exact tactic in the end round.
One hour after the next, Soniqs just seem to keep finding their way to ensure the TWT cannot even get the spike down. But a lot of that, yet again, has been based off the ultimates. So far, they only have Rooney's left now. Now, although quite nice, Calypso's also one away from his, and that should be enough, but the attacking op isn't going to do them a ton of favors. They're still forcing up this round, though. That's the most interesting part. With 2 light shields on their hands, the TWT needs this round if they are to continue to have some sort of favorable standing for their money.
And this is a very dialed back round from TWT. Everybody holding down, waiting for Soniqs to push up. Okay, there's a very good Nightfall to start things out. A good explosion coming out from Soniqs in return. Look at this. They're all pushing down. They just want to stifle and ruin the eco of TWT.
Easy stuff, and also that exact same TP play that's set up before as well, because they know TWT more often than not are just slow playing early in the round. They read them again, and now Enjoy on this op. He could easily stuff them back, finds the first shot, and Anderson's gone. He TPs away, and it's an easy hold from this point forward. You see that same three-man rotate we saw in the previous round yet again. It's 3v4 TWT. He keep getting caught in these super tough positions. Enjoy's looking to peek back into elbow. They know he had the op there. The flash catches him, and the second shot, the person connect. It's easy, but Shock gets another. It's 2v2. TWT need to do everything they can to possibly hold them off. Remember, they need this round to stay alive. And Soniqs, if they get this, they can firmly put the game back in their favor. He's defusing, and Shock gets the 4K.
Very, very nice work from Soniqs there. I don't know how that turned from like a 4v3 to a 2v2 out of seemingly nowhere. Everybody on Soniqs did lose a lot. Like, they got mowed down quite a bit in B halls, but there was a good turnaround at the very end. Just holding the site, playing off the spacing of the paint grenades, really good. But now Soniqs, they're one round away from tying this up 10-10. The majority of the rounds just barely inching in Soniqs' favor for the defense, half of which have been defuses. For together, we're terrific. Their early and mid rounds have looked really good, but Soniqs oftentimes, they like to throw a wrench into the plays. And last round we had seen the suddenly aggressive maneuvers from Crunchy pushing out from the TP, but this time, TWT aren't lurking anymore. They're not going to go for a default. They're quite literally together for this next execute, looking to divide themselves just a tiny bit outside of showers. But we've seen these trades before, and TWT, once they find util, they love to explode onto a site.
Exploding though. It seems both Pure and Shock have done their job. Both of these players have been absolutely nuts. And considering all the clutch plays they've had, it's making these games oh so close. TWT. Step outside U-Haul with 3 stacks. But one after the next, Soniqs could easily take this back. They just have to try to find the first peak.
Showstopper?
Util dump, they find one. There we go. Is Showstopper ready, primed. And as the op shot goes out, he gets concussed. That is so unlucky. But Anderson, they don't see him. And that's a shot. The judge is fair. And it's easy for Crunchy. The jump shot works again from Anderson. Nice.
The audacity from Ian to fall line the Showstopper, knowing full well where the positioning was from Pure. That was really, really close there. I mean, how often do you get to see a stun on a Showstopper, right? And it's just abilities like that have just stifled the game, or just stifles that play, and being able to push, make what could have been a double kill outside of Pure, make sure that can't be possible anymore. And now TWT, they're verging on the edge of match point. They've been changing up their strategies quite a bit. They've had deep lurking plays, slower rounds, and even faster mid-round executes. But once again, they're going to opt away from their banding together. Really nice opening pick from Calypso, unexpected too. And it's going to leave Soniqs in an interesting spot. A sheriff only for Rooney, being pressured now on A site. They're completely surrounded.
With Shock taken down, it becomes that much tougher. As Soniqs, they know they're on the anti-eco, so it becomes tougher, but I should say there's not a ton more they could do besides try to get 2. And on the anti-ecos, I think if you got in 2, you've done your job. And Crunchy knows that he's gonna have to go in and die there, because there's a point of him trying to save with his sheriff.
Even saving his utility here wouldn't be a bad option. He's gonna go for one Sky Smoke. Trailblazer identifies Crunchy's position. Everyone's aiming down. Crunchy can't even escape onto A site. That being said though, TWT, they are racking up their ultimates. There's the potential Tour de Force, there's also the Seekers, as well as the Shrouded Steps that we had seen in the previous half from Anderson. Found a litany of information as well as spacing for retaking the spike, but we haven't really seen what the what the Shrouded Step can bring when it comes to executions. And maybe this could be a good flanking maneuver, could be good for finding information again. I'm curious to see if this is the last round, what impact it can bring out. But one thing I'm also scared of is enjoy on that tour de force. Gonna be incredibly scary in the beginning, but won't find much impact as there's a big rush towards B-Long.
This is actually so interesting because actually both Ian and Crunchy are one away from their respective ultimates, so those could be game-changing once they manage to actually get them. But Anderson winning will mean that there's gonna be no more waiting for the skies as they look to scope them out on the site. One after the next, they mow them down. A blades of grass, easy peasy lemon squeezy, man.
Oh boy, we talked about how we didn't get to see too much from TWT when it comes to Bind before the grand finals, but I have to say there's a reason why there were two different methods about TWT approaching the veto process. They could go for maps that have been played before and they've won, but have been shown up and could be VOD reviewed by Soniqs or any other team, or they could go in uncharted waters, play maps they haven't played recently, and catch Soniqs out for a loop. Regardless of the fact though, Soniqs go down in the first game and TWT is looking fantastic so far. It's a matter though, if a small map matters, as we go into a larger map, what kind of chemistry together we're terrific can bring out.
Aggressive plays, big util dumps, and massive raise plays. Can it be recreated going into Fracture? Well, gotta stick around to find out. We'll see you back in a bit.
We are hot and sweaty after that first matchup, and who can blame us? We were in the hot sands of Bind, and we saw some amazing gameplay from TWT going up against Soniqs. Again, the only unsigned team in the semifinals and the rest of the championship here to make their way forwards, and they're also a map ahead. My name is Keg. I'm joined by Ravishing Ravish. We're going to move away from Bind, though. We're going to go to a much bigger map in Fracture.
Their aggression, unbridled. Their players, tall. Me, dying, which is how great this game has been so far. And considering we're going out to Fracture here right now, Max, I want to say that I am going into this with bated breath because I truly think that anything can happen.
This is going to be a tough one to call. I mean, if you're a predicting person, I'm not a very good predictor, but looking at this, the raw data in of itself, right? The only times we've seen TWT play on Fracture in recent memory was this tournament. So there is some recent footage of TWT here, which is really good for Soniqs. The problem is, though, is that Soniqs don't really have the best record since the last Challengers playoffs on Fracture itself. They've played it 3 times. They've only won it once, but the big strength for them that they have to rely on, if you want to consider it canceling it out, I'm not too sure, it's going to be that they haven't played it at all so far in the Knights Championship. So there's no counter footage for TWT to watch for Soniqs. It's like this big spider web of fractureness going between both teams. And so there's a big back and forth about what we could expect. So I think my internal calculator for prediction says it could be 50-50.
You know what? That's respectable. But I think that's the coward's way out of this. As you're predicting, anything could actually happen. You think my father was a coward. But I'm not going to do this. But
Did you kill your father?
What? No. God. Okay, look.
He's going to get me next.
I'm coming. But either way, yeah. Point being, I think due to just both the lack of information on both of these sides, how these teams that prep for each other will be really interesting, if at all. Because I think TWT, like you were saying before, although not the most resources on them, what is fun, though, is that they do have a couple of set plays, and they do have to rely on their initiators to just start the round. Hopefully, they get the opening pick. Meanwhile, Soniqs, though, they also have about 2 to 3, of course, just like plays that they set up on the defense, but they've been shown to adapt to TWT pretty easily. And they've read them pretty well before when they faced them against them Bind. So we'll see if they can do so pretty easily on Fracture.
I feel like the core story for Soniqs as a whole has been their game of adaptability since they came over to North America. Even as far back as the old Knights Gauntlets back last year, where it felt like every other month it was Renegades versus Soniqs for the grand finals, it was the same game of adaptability. A big back and forth between the two teams, and Soniqs, towards the very end of that streak, that rivalry that happened, Soniqs always won by their own adaptability. The difference, though, this time, just a tiny bit, But yeah, you can have adaptability, but Sonics also have structure, which is really good if you're assigned team. But when you're going up against a team which we can only infer has a little bit less structure, being an unsigned team, could be that there's a lot more adaptability, a lot more potential for hero plays, and a lot more just unknown factors when facing up against a team like Together We Are Terrific. But, Ravish, it doesn't seem like we have much longer till we get to map number 2. Sweat is dripping down my brow. Why don't you take it away to see how it goes for Fracture?
Well, we'll see right now as he pop into Agent Select Chair, Max. Perfect timing, and it seems as though that we seem to have almost the exact same team comps we had on Bind. Am I surprised? No, but I'm pleasantly pleased, I'd say. Except, we do see that there is a change with the Sage.
Yeah, I think Ian now going for the Sage pick is a really nice choice here for Fracture. There is going to be some volatilities, right, with a Breach pick, but Rooney was Fade last time around. Moving away from the double initiator of Bind and now a single initiator, Fade can find a lot of impact on Fracture, especially on the spike sites themselves, but having a single initiator and trading out the Fade pick here for Ian Sage, I think is a really good option as well. Now, I'll save you the argument about how I think Sage could be a great duelist, but I do think she can find a lot of spacing here and deny a lot of space, especially on a site like A, where you can just wall up almost the entirety of the defensive side and just hope that these attackers go in through a small funnel in A main. But we have to wait and see how that breaks down, though. Again, the big thing we need to look at is to see how 2 initiators for TWT can fare up against a single initiator, especially in the mid-round plays.
I mean, as of right now, man, I don't know exactly how they're gonna actually look to go up against one another. As we've seen so far, it's been a lot of just boom, boom, bang, bang. You know, you pop in, I pop through a smoke, we walk through fire, and then you put down the flames. Does that make sense?
Yeah, through the fires and flames.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all. But currently, though, Iron will look to pull the wall down and just slow down the push, but it won't be for much longer as they, yet again, like I said, was pushed these smokes. But look at this, right outside of Arcade. You should be able to see them pop through the rope, and it's an easy take. Aleko finds one. Can they try to trade off for the second? Crunchy's concussed. Will he look to repeat again? But they're all moved away. They're all gone. Where'd they go, Crunchy? You gotta find them. But Calypso does. Oh, they see him first. Bonk.
That's not a hammer. A headhunter, but still found some almost head potential. Look at this rotate though, all the way from the other side of the map. There's still plenty of time to find impact this round if you're Together We're Terrific. The smokes barely used so far. Will be not coming down just yet. Let's see where it does end up. Likely A main or even spawn. Taking their time with the side smokes. Everything has just gone completely down. And look at this marathon. Anderson, being a sacrificial lamb, it seems, rotate or allows the rotate from Mummy to go all the way back to B to meet up with Aleko. And now look at this. Only one member of Sonics has possibly come up to the idea.
Rooney.
Maybe able to hear the audio of footsteps at this point. Rooney hiding behind on Canteen. Sees and identifies Mummy. What is he doing there? Wait a minute. There's another. It's Aleko. And it's a trade back and forth. But Aleko can't get the spike for Veach. He goes down and Sonics are still up for 1.
And we were talking about this. Fracture is a coin flip, unfortunately. Although on the attacking end, it is naturally favored for you, but you having to rotate can truly mean something awful.
There's a lot of rotatability. A lot of rotatability. But we are in a technical pause right now from TWT side, so we're just waiting to see that gets fixed out. What I want to see going into when we have full rifle rounds, Ravish, is that a lot of the times for attacking teams now on Fracture, they love to go for those double pincer moves. So on Bind, we had seen each attacking team push, say, B-Long and Hookah, right? 2 different lanes. You can't really do that as much on Fracture, so it has this interesting forced pincer maneuver where you have to go to the other side of Satellite and, say, A main or Arcade on B and just crunch it down and attack a site. We don't get to see that normally on pistol rounds, but as we go forwards, we have to wait to see how that goes and how the team chemistry allows that timing to work.
Well, the only thing I want to crunch down on is peanut butter, personally, if I am being myself so truthful. Yeah, I know. Look, I mean, crunchy peanut butter is obviously just better. It's like you get like a little bit more extra snacks alongside your actual snack. But that being said, aside from that, what you have to understand is that I think Fracture is Interesting, because especially right now for Sonics, they've already read that, you know, once you get into a gun round, this could be where they decide, okay, CTWT is not necessarily afraid to just run in like they did before, right past the smokes. Now, without using a ton of smokes of their own, they are relying on more so on the initiator, especially their fate, to like maybe surmise where they might be holding. But aside from that, it's just gonna come down to, okay, did I pew faster than you? Yeah. I believe it was Valid on the desk who said they're just shooting faster than them. That's how they're winning. And that's my high level analysis.
That's a lot of analysis for Valorant too, right? You just gotta outfrag them, just shoot a little bit faster, maybe bring out the minima phantom, all those great things that will ensure 100%. Come on.
We're not doing this again.
Tried.
We have the conversation every single time, and every single time you see the exact same thing. Look, it looks like a whistle. It's dumb. All right, that's it.
I like whistles.
Okay, sure. The whistles are fine, but I don't want to shoot with my whistle. So thank you. Now, aside from that, oh, you know what? Here's also a hot take. I think RGX is mid.
I agree. It looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skin, like the sewer.
It looks like a highlighter. It's okay. Like it looks like a Sharpie. It's not that great. Like I don't know.
Like a Sharpie, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody's like so up in arms about it. Oh, it's great. No, it's not, guys. It's okay. It's just y'all gotta do all this. I mean, my favorite skin is the whole super galactic whatever. I don't remember.
Oh, the gun.
Yeah. No, no. I'm talking about the one that looks like it's from Futurama. Green.
Yeah, the
fun.
Gravitational Uranium Neuroblaster.
Yeah, that's it.
The space baton. I love Futurama.
Yeah, space baton. Hey, we're back at the game. Yeah.
Those pincer maneuvers. It's coming out already. TWT. And if you're wondering, TWT stands for Together We're Terrific. We didn't say that in the beginning, but now we get to see here how that pincer maneuver works. Shang does find the opening pick, but it promotes a big rotate around to B, where there's only one on site.
And Sonics have been pretty quick to rotate as well, as you've seen so far on Bind, and right now they're holding strong on A. They are up 1, so they have the luxury to be able to hold, because they know the retake should definitely be stronger with the gun advantage they have with all their Spectres. But as the smokes go down, TWT, with no real cover of their own, will have to slowly inch their way closer. They should hear Rui right above them. So this will mean that they're looking to move S2. No pincers here, Max.
Not just yet. There's always that kind of wild card to let go play where he goes for a deep lurk, kind of stifles out and confuses Sonics a little bit at times, but looks like this time there might be no confusion. Oh,
he's
boy.
just jiggle peeking, and Joy actually wasn't caught with a fault line. They don't know where he is, and they finds 2. Make that 3, baby. Easy peasy. As TWT are dunzo bunzo. It's just the let go left. He could possibly get a right click. I think they have the flash available. But Rooney scoped in with a Marshall. Come on, Rooney, let's see it. I want you to jump peek and headshot him. I want that to happen. Oh, no, he ran away.
Left.
Oh.
Flawless.
Bye.
Okay, that was a good round. I like how Sonics aren't overextending themselves again. It's pretty much a carryover from Bind, where they didn't really overextend that much either and go for those hero plays like I keep harping on the desk. That means Sonics, they're playing closer to the site together. They're on the defensive side, so they don't have to push out and look for those aggressive flanks. And we did see a rotate on the pistol round, and they almost got punished for it, but luckily though, Shank was there to protect Enjoy's life. That being said though, it's gonna make things hard for TWT. They can rotate all day, but as long as there's at least a little bit of a presence both on A and B site, there's still going to be a form of contention inside of a site. Let's see what Calypso can do here. He goes for the widest of wide swings. Ian's wall in return. The slow orb. That's where the Sentinel comes into play. It might be able to track Calypso in a spider web, but the spider can't quite find the fly.
Is that what spiders do?
I think so.
You know what? I'm not gonna question it. I'm no geologist. I don't understand. But what I do understand right now is that same sort of pinch to come down to the A site. It's an easy plant finally as TWT look to get around for themselves. We're in a 3v5. Sonic side know have the chance to be able to do this as the push up is there from Pure. He gets caught. But considering they know where 2 are coming from, it should be a pretty easy hold. And it's 2v2. With guns like theirs, they should come out on top, and they do.
Very nice to see there. Not a lot of rotates, but a lot of early util usage from Soniqs to try to stifle the play. It was a good read from Soniqs too. They identified where TWT would want to push that next round, but it's the mysterious ways of Fracture, right? Sometimes you think you have the best defensive hold in the world, and there's just so much rotate potential and different ways to push in that sometimes you just lose those. Oh, hello!
Oh, I didn't know that one was there, and he has a balloon of himself. Oh.
It's okay, he can have an ego. He deserves it.
Yeah, right. But I don't. You know what? We'll see. This is interesting. They actually catch Priya with that. Oh, that's so well timed. He almost made it out of there. And right by his side, like they both get punished. Aleko could possibly trade back one, but with the way he's positioned, it's really tough. So they know exactly where they're holding. Mame stuck. The op shot connects, and it's Aleko left alone again.
Soniqs so far have been good to shut down all these pushes from TWT. Only that last or 2 rounds ago, where TWT was able to push their way onto a site and obviously won the round. Soniqs otherwise, they've been looking really good to shut down everything for their defensive plays. Keep in mind again, Soniqs don't play Fracture very often. They haven't played this map at all when it came to this tournament, and very rarely since the end of the last Challengers playoffs. In fact, when they have played it, they only won 1 out of 3 times. There's so much time in between to scrim, prepare, come up with new strategies, and so far, these early aggressive plays have worked really well. Well, besides Enjoy.
Yeah, it's sad there, but we're looking at Fracture to do the map to possibly where TWT makes a run for it, but as of right now, Soniqs though, they will hold up quite well. The nade catches him, he's a bit too low. Now it's up to Ian. He could try to save this. He has Crunchy by his side, but they know they'll be fighting a losing battle. So they're looking to save, but they might be caught, and the Crunchy's gone, and now Ian's looking at possible death in the face. Flawless for TWT.
TWT, they're just playing off of those aggressive plays of Soniqs. It feels like the most rounds that we see Soniqs play ultra aggressive are the rounds they end up losing. Otherwise, they just play super defensive, allow TWT to find some early game potential, right, of pushing a site. It's more of just catching them out. But when Soniqs go toe-to-toe, it feels like oftentimes it goes well in the beginning. Very quickly, the tides turn and it falls flat. Let's see what happens if they go to B. Looks like there's a lot of predominance outside of Arcade, but the spike itself hasn't been dedicated anywhere just yet. 3 bodies of TWT had pushed their way over to the back end of the other, was it the north end of the map? Otherwise, though, it's a large default. And TWT together, they really want Soniqs to play aggressive here. They're fighting for it. They're baiting them out, but they're not taking the bait. Soniqs are playing defensive again. They did extend a little bit, but otherwise, they dial themselves back, and they want TWT to make the first move.
So they are the aggressive. It does make sense for them to do so, but this is such an easy angle right now for Soniqs to try to catch one.
The underbelly.
They move under, yeah.
They're in the RGX zone.
Aha, nice. But it should be pretty easy for them to be able to make their move, considering how they're holed up, and they decide not to do it. They want to move through Arcade. A side looks to be the option. But Ian's there at the side, so they could just choose the haunt to scope out where everybody is first. So they finally won so far, but Soniqs should be able to move back pretty easily. And Ashok, I was trying to hold him off. He's up against 2, but if he finds 1, this should be enough as Calypso falls.
Calypso falls on the counter flank. Good for the shutdown on B. Suddenly 20 seconds left. Together we're terrific. They don't really have many options to push forwards anymore. Going into A means certain death, and rotating to B, there's no time. Shank is good to take down Anderson. Smokes are gone. Everybody else, and together we're terrific. Looking to opt to save. I think the reason why we didn't see the execute on the B was because the 2 traveling into Underbelly, trying to go to Arcade, must have heard the trademark and the rendezvous for Chamber on B site. So knowing that, being identified, if they were to push up those stairs any longer, Enjoy would have known and would have called the entire rotate against what could have been an execute. So we did stifle things a little bit for Together We're Terrific, and A site just had bountiful lots of bodies for Soniqs to just defend. It put them in a bind where they weren't really able to do one thing or the other, and because of their eco, they wanted to preserve it and try to save.
It's understandable too, because there was no real option for them to try to move into any different viable angle. And now with the way they're set up, I imagine they're looking to move in all the way through arcade, through tower, and try to get the plant down right by neutral, but they have to take down Calypso first. That op is gonna be a real problem, but the side smoke should be enough. At least force him away. Try being enjoyed. Stuck at the side, now they can move in. They find nobody over by tower. He manages to dodge 2 ultimates, but he's still concussed for so long that you don't get him, and that's 1. And he TP's away. It's so free.
What the heck is going on? The floor is quite literally lava all over side B. Nobody can step anywhere or come close and bring the spike onto site. It's just chaos everywhere, Ravish. People are going down left and right. Pure is trying to hold on while the spike hasn't even gone down yet. Into safety he may go. A double kill good for Pure. A 1v1 is left. It's up to Aleko to find the shots. Finds it through a pixel peek to take down Crunchy. But TWT, they're relying on chaos to win these rounds.
And we said it before, chaos is where they thrive, but they cannot recreate that every single time. That was 4 ultimates out of almost 5 that were committed there. And now they still have Shunk Showstopper to be able to try to match it, and IN is also 1 away from the res as well. On the other end, Pure is still 3 away from his. So they know they can't match the same sort of aggression. The question will be, how do they do it this round? With no big ults to clear out the site, they're now 2 on B. As Crunchy is actually pushing decently aggressively. Use the molly, takes the orb. And that's easy, but I'm sure they must have heard that, so they know they'll be matched by at least 1.
And look at the timings here from Soniqs on the right side of the map. There was a lot of aggressive potential outside of Satellite, but there was no contact made. Now there's going to be a flank, Raze versus Raze. Soon to make contact, Enjoy being collapsed down. Shonk was good to win the Raze fight, but now Enjoy's by themselves, quite literally on an island.
Stuck away, takes a lot of shots, super low in the flick from Crunch. How did he know? How, just off of sound cues alone, he takes him down. PWT is left to 3. Low spike planted, Mummus is stuck in a corner. He has the aftershock left with no flashes being there for him, allowing the fault line not present either. I mean, he has a couple of seconds to try to move away, and he finds Enjoy. That's 2 for him. Still stuck outside of green. They don't even wallbang him yet, and Calypso can only do so much.
Good defuse from Soniqs there. Might be a blessing in disguise that there was no contact made outside of Satellite. Oftentimes, the rounds where Soniqs choose to push, especially Satellite, for the aggro. First 30 seconds into the round, they end up losing the fights and have very little bodies for their defensive hold in the mid and late round. That means having that flank, sure, it stifles a little bit towards the Raze versus Raze fight we mentioned, but for the most part, it means Soniqs had more manpower to take back the site, go for the retake itself, and just overwhelm TWT, especially with all that line of sight denial, with a litany of smokes just everywhere. And again, that plays into the chaos match that we have when everyone gets on site.
Right now, TWT, at a certain point, seem to be just surviving. Because they know on the attack they may not necessarily want to be the favorite. The ones rush keep it even. Enjoy, unfortunately, a little bit late on the shot. And with him forced back once again, this will allow TBT to move into the site. As look to clear out every single corner of the Sky Smokes, do more than enough to hold him away. But the question is, though, look where the spike is, Max. It's all the way at the back. They're not committing yet again.
Yeah, and the rotates have been called once more. That trademark deep into the spawn side north of the map hasn't been called yet either. That means there's no flank, at least just yet, but Satellite's not protected or found out. Now there is Shunk playing far deep in A main.
Wow.
Oh, okay, Pure, nice, takes down Enjoy. Shunk in the reverse. Something about Razes this match have just done so well. But Calypso could be here for the trade. No identifying information. Right?
If he lost that, that would have been a tragedy. But
one bullet from Crunchy connected on Anderson.
That's impressive.
Oh, I'm sorry, Calypso.
Slow, more than enough though. Gets spiked down, and the res will only manage to bring back 1. Ian is gone. There's 2 taken away. They have the op again though, but with only 2 of them there, this will become a almost Herculean task. So we'll see if either one of them work out. And so far, it seems like they don't got their pump in yet, so they might be looking to save at least the op. And it's just Rooney left. Let's see, maybe you can take one. Rooney, nope.
And you would think maybe Enjoy's nearby.
There.
Even with the op in hand, just trying to train out a body. Aleko, earlier in the round, threw out his C's, was able to connect almost where Enjoy was. He's actually on the other side of the wall. Might be good to find one here. He most certainly does. Aleko's on the other side. Top off tower removes the op regardless. And Aleko looking to pick it up. Wonder who that's going to go to.
I'm assuming it's the person who can spawn the op, Max. I imagine.
Uh-oh. Dun dun dun.
Ooh, should be more than enough though, but this is big right now. TWT have Rolling Thunder. That means they're gonna use it. And up against Soniqs too, they're on the save. It shouldn't necessarily matter because you want to try to make it at least a 6-6 half, which they're on track to be able to do so. 2 entry options, which one would they utilize first? Oh, actually not even setting up for either so far. They're anticipating a TWT. I mean, Soniqs might be looking to move through A. You want to try to catch Calypso and Crunchy, so that gets caught first.
Good opening pick. Pure off the haunt. Can't find where Shank's located. And they don't know about the judge pick either. That means if Rooney can almost bait out these plays, Shank could be good to find one off the judge. Tries to make contact, hides away, just baiting out that appearance to hide around the corner. Pure, still waiting. Prime Vandal in hand, actually chooses to go for the Great Escape. That means now Soniqs left behind nobody, like sharks in the water without blood. It's up to the rest of TWT to make their way over to A and hope to catch Soniqs off before they can fully make their way onto the site. That's far too late though. And now look at all this. Enjoy, perfect angle to catch out at least one.
Ooh. Enjoy gets it up before he gets knocked back, and that'll be more. And they need to at least clear out the site consistently. All 3 gone, and off of one ult, like we said, the entry's a little bit later, but it's still right on time.
And we talked about it too. It was an eco round from Soniqs. And sure, there was a Guardian. It was partially not an eco, but at least the money for the most part for the team stays the same. There's still 2 more rounds left in the first half, and Soniqs, they still have to be very careful with this next round in their economy. If they fall here, especially with no tour de force to back themselves up, that means this final round could be an eco, and we could be looking at 5-7 against Soniqs. We're gonna have to wait and see. Again, it looks like maybe an aggressive round coming out from Arcade. Wasn't that successful the first time on an eco, but it's slower this time. Up the potential or pickup there from Rooney, and it's good for the Rolling Thunder. There's no follow-up at all, as it's a slow crawl from TWT, pushing their way towards Satellite, but there's a little gift at the very top, and that's gonna be Enjoy's trademark.
Question is, though, will they sniff it out before they get caught from it? Most likely not. But they did find Enjoy at least. Smokes go down. If one didn't get in, they're hoping the second might, but neither ends up catching him. Enjoy gets out somehow, but they lose 2 in the process. TWT, not the entry they were looking for. But the counter ult to force them back. They're still looking to commit. Calypso somehow finds Wayne to a corner that nobody checks, and he gets 2 for free. How about that? That's the kind of picture deal I'm looking for.
There was no info for the site itself. It was just ultimates everywhere. And now 2 left alive for Soniqs. Oh, hiding outside A main. Shanka's good for 1. They're playing off contact for each other. Possible trades through and through. Aleko has to make the first move here. Can't simply be Calypso, right? Aleko needs to make the first contact and spot first. But pushing through 1 by 1, it's actually Calypso instead. Hides away with the rendezvous. And down below, the Great Escape, potentially hiding away. It's Aleko, an unknown position. Crawls his way down, finds the headshot of Shank, and brings the lead into their favor.
Somehow, some way, that round actually did work out, and you may notice that there is a trend with these rounds that TWT seem to be somehow dominating it. Is that there were like 6 ultimates committed again, and they somehow came out on top again. Now, to be fair, it was still off the back of Calypso comfortably out of the site, and with nobody seeing him, and him with 2 free picks. So, ultimately putting Soniqs in what is an anti-eco in the final round. Well, in a bit of a potluck buy.
They really wanted Calypso gone from that top tower position. Oh boy. This is unusually aggressive from TWT. Usually Soniqs make first contact at the beginning of the round, but this time it's just a straight shot to A main. We haven't seen this yet.
Nightfall goes in, though, so they managed to find a couple different players, and off the back of this, they still are. I was gonna say I might have been able to take one, but unfortunately not. Stopped all the way at the back. The reload catches Mummy, but it's a 2 in their favor. This is impressive. Spikes hasn't gone down. They're delaying. Kleps is caught in the corner. Shot misses. But it might be enough. He sees one above, one below. Which one will he take? On the ground and on the cloud. What kind of approach do they want for the start of business? And it seems like it's on the cloud here, baby. That's how we do it. Just Rooney left and sayonara.
I guess it makes sense that they want to remove Calypso from that last round, right? Because he got a 3K the next round when he wasn't pushed or contested. Beautiful to see, but again, we swap sides. Together, we're terrific. Looking really good so far. They won Bind in this first semifinals, best of 3. Now in map number 2, they're up to Fracture, and so far again, they're looking really good. They were playing off the attack though. There's a lot of options when you're an attacker, and a lot of rotate potential that we had seen Together We're Terrific in spades bring out round after round. Now Soniqs, the ball's in their court. They could easily do the same thing. Can't count them out just yet. We have to see how the first 3 rounds here go, and if TWT win all 3, then I feel like it's a little bit more solidified who will be going to grand finals. So these next few rounds, Ravish, these are going to be some of the most important, possibly the entire tournament.
Now, that's the thing here, Max. Because seldom has either one of these teams won 3 in a row, but with Miami finding one right off the rip, it might bode well for themselves. Let's look to push back into their round. It becomes a retake. They're there as 5. They get slowed, but now Sonic just has to hold. Rakachi gets found. It's a 1-for-1 yet again, but I think this is where they're comfortable. TWT are doing it again. Together we are terrific indeed.
A slow but steady retake there. Isolating one by one. Soniqs had done the same thing in their own pistol round. They loomed from every position of the map to collapse back down on the B site. Only difference was I feel like the angles held by Soniqs were a little bit less aggressive than we had seen when the sides were swapped. Regardless though, really nice round from TWT. That's 1 out of 3 check marks down. They've won their pistol. They have a lot of early utility. And Soniqs here, they're going to opt the force buy. They realize how important this next round needs to be. If they lose this next round, they're looking at an even harsher eco than we normally see, and probably not a rifle round either.
And considering where the setup is before, I wonder if they'd go for the same sort of slow play we saw previously on their attack, or they decide that, you know what, let's rush them down. Now with the way this set up, it should be much farther angles that they're looking to hold. But look at this. It should be Enjoy looking to make first contact. But instead of Shonk goes down initially, as they look to push past Satellite, but in front of us, 4 more fall, and Enjoy will be one of the next, as we pointed out previously.
And look at this, the damage has been done already. Last Alive is one of your 2 initiator, or your only initiator, excuse me, for Sonic's side. Now the only one left. No information gained from Preach's utility at all. So low damage, forced to run in, do his best, but he goes down immediately. That's 2 checkboxes down, Ravish. Only 1 more, and the coffin might be sealed for TWT to go to grand finals.
Now remember, we said it before. I said it like 30 seconds ago. Neither one of these teams has won 3 in a row. And Soniqs, unfortunately, might be looking to fulfill the prophecy. They have sheriffs. There's not a ton they can work with, unfortunately. And up against Spectres and a judge from Pure. This might be heavily in one side's favor, but we gonna see. I don't know. Calypso's pushing up. He's up against 2. And this 1-for-1. That's nice. Calypso gets 2 though. Oh, he finds another. No way, right? No way. Okay, the second. Okay, the shot's still connect. That's a little bit of oopsie daisy, but hey, look at that. 3 for 3.
That was scary still. And Shunk, okay, does find Mame.
Nice.
A 3v2. Soniqs, this is the first time so far this half they've had a man advantage.
It's impressive. They also now have guns in their back pocket. Now, TWT probably felt a little bit too comfortable thinking, yo, we got this. Easy peasy. They got shares. They can't do nothing. Surprise. They can.
Pure, nice upgrade. Little blub skin, bubble guppies moment. But no, Rooney takes down Anderson. And Pure is the last alive.
Spike planted.
It seems as though my prophecy is once again correct here, Max. No team in this set has won 3 in a row. Because some way, somehow, these phenomenal things keep happening. And let's see who gets fed to the fishes. Will it be the 3 members of Soniqs or just Pure? We've seen him do more, but can't do anything else.
6-9 now. Have to see what Soniqs and TDW can do. TW. I know. I was avoiding the joke. TWT. We have to see now what the next response can be. At the very least, though, Soniqs, again, were able to win that last round, so their economy is looking better. There is one rifle on the board. It's going to go into the hands of Enjoy, and it makes sense. Him and Crunchy have done very well so far this map. Everybody else relegated to the Spectre and Judge territory, playing a little bit slower. If I had to guess, maybe we could see first contact and an initiation off of a Chamber, possibly. But Chamber's on his own little journey at the bottom of A main. That being said, though, Shonk just straight up destroys Aleko.
Now we'll see maybe the return trade is there. Calypso, unfortunately, 2 shots miss. He needed to get at least one of those to perhaps slow them down, but this is more than enough for Soniqs to rightfully take control and plant their flag on A. But Anderson on the exact same angle. There's a Rolling Thunder. It catches every single one of them, but they have to move in now. We'll see if he can catch any of them first. Past the wall, he sees one. Right below, there's a second, and Soniqs are getting cleared out. They're all just caught in the middle, at the back below the spike, and that's enough. The ult goes down, but it's not enough to stop them. Crunchy still chilling, holding it down. He says, yo, why you all here? I was booling. Get at it.
Oh, and it's interesting, right, that Soniqs are able to get away with these attacks because TWT, they have 2 initiators to find a litany of information. Now, while Breach can't find as much, as much information as, say, Fade can find a lot of that wall hacky utility with the Haunt. But there's the big problem. Once you throw out the Haunt, it takes a while to bring it back, and that means if you miss the Haunt and don't find any info, you're pretty much stuck in the same exact space as Soniqs, where they only have a Breach, and the only information they can gain is just from raw peaks. And there we go, another fast, raw, aggressive attack once again. Shonk hiding away, looking for the rotate around. There is a flash coming out from top tower. Mame, though, doesn't react off of it. He's only got a Sheriff. He can't possibly find the entire team off of it.
I mean, there's absolutely no way, but that might be enough still to get the res back, though. So suddenly, we're now looking at a much more even standard. TWT, they could probably get one more out of this if they want to try to do some more damage to the economy. But Pure is inching forward. He does have the boom bat, but sees one in the corner. Hey, the double peek out, and Pure gets both of them. Some way, somehow. Showstopper ready to go. Peek through. He needs to try to get at least one off of this. Clear off the site, and he finds Rooney. A monstrous round for Pure. As the peek back, he's looking at his ace, but that gets denied. And Enjoy gets the final.
There's no stopping power. Together, we're terrific. Soniqs have recognized that beyond the trademark, just pushing into a site. It has worked so well. The utility usage is there. The angles are held. And TWT, they're forced to be on that back heel again, being responsive and reactive to Soniqs' plays. They haven't been able to make their own plays just yet. And when we talk about those own plays, Soniqs were able to make their own when they were on the defense. They played aggressive at the beginning of half of their rounds. And TWT, they've been pretty much playing the same exact positions round after round now. Slight alteration, sure, but Shonk knows he's safe to push in. Calypso's on the other side, but he TP's out. It's a free range to A site.
But it might not be super free to move it right now, because you see, I'm scared of the dark, and right now that's all I see in terms of the POV. Calypso, though, could possibly deny that. Side of the smoke. Sees nobody there. But they're still looking to move in. As they are, it's just one person strong and Enjoy finds them.
Not sure how many Sky Smokes Anderson had left, but regardless, that means there's no line of sight denial now against Soniqs. It all has to be direct contact now. A one-way was set, Pure falls off of it. And now look at this, one by one. Everyone tries to peek into the horde of Soniqs pushing onto the site, but it's too little and too late. The saving grace here could be the the haunt for info. But even then, that only does so much for Aleko.
Soniqs need to really have found a way, momentum shift and reading well in TWT. And with 2 on their hands, they know they have to actually save here because there's no possible way they take this back because these rounds have been just so explosive in general. This is the right call, a safer call, one we haven't seen TWT make as of yet. But they finally found the read, might be looking to facing its Ian, and he's gone. So they get one.
It's not a flawless round. And Calypso again, hiding away with the op. Aleko and company are doing a really good job just hiding away in the shadows, coming out and just pouncing on everybody, trying to hunt for the kill, but it's not going to quite happen. 2-2 left alive, going into what is now an even game. Talk about the ultimate caster's curse. We said this could be the nail in the coffin. Had Together were terrific, won that 3rd round, and look what's happened since then. Sonic have gone flawless 4 rounds in a row now, breaking their old streak from the first half, where at best they won 2. And now they could be good to take this map as well, but we can't call it that early yet. It's even. The eco's relatively even as well. I'm curious to see what the eco for TWT is going to look like into this next round, because if they lose it, they might be on an eco all the way to 11.
Yet again, on their potluck buy, once more, they're going to have to look to force their way onto the site. Anderson is gone. That's a big pickup. And they're stuck. The wall goes back, and Pure is mowing them. He got them all. He got that John Deere, baby. It's easy enough, and that means that right now, there's not a ton to stop him. It's 3v2. Enjoy. Okay. He sees where they might be holding him, but TWT is just a bit closer. And Calypso's gone. He turns the right corner. He gets timing. I know he's mad about that. Spike's still in their hands. Not gone down yet. They gotta play this.
That Molly play was incredible. Perfect timing there. Aftershock delaying the plant of the spike. It's the safest spot, so it delays the plant entirely. Han comes by, and that's a lot of info for Aleko to work off of. Enjoy. Full health. Has to protect Brimstone. So little. It's up to Enjoy now, holding down the line. Aleko coming in for the flank. Loves to go for these lurky plays.
Oh, Aleko got spotted at the exact wrong moment. Mommy was playing distraction.
They're going A.
They're running. You're right. They might have heard.
They're cutting their losses.
Oh, interesting. They should get there before them too.
But there's no post-plant utility for Crunchy at all. Let's go back over to the chamber and see what kind of utility he has going to the post-plant as well. Is there any at all? He may have some headhunters. It's hard to say. Enjoy holding the other side of the cross contact. That tells me there's very little utility to work off of. Aleko has something magical though. It's the Haunt. No Prowlers to play off of it though. Early info though, when the Haunt goes down, could be extreme. And given the positions of both, Enjoy won't be spotted, but certainly Crunchy could. Or if Aleko goes for Sands. It's a 50-50 gamble here for Aleko.
Oh! He makes a solid bet, but considering he's still tagged, they know where they're holding up once again. The question has to be is, will he move through the door? And it seems like so. No real utility to work through, but they will be able to hear him. And they know as of right now, yeah, there's not a ton more he can do. Aleko will have to save once again. As another round goes the way of Soniqs, has 5 in a row. And they managed to maintain. And it was tough at the beginning. It was a big play from Pure, but it's simply not enough. Soniqs keep finding their ways into these rounds. It was just enough time to get the spike down.
I mean, it sucks to say, but that was the right call from Aleko. Having that Vandal, holding it on, keeping the economy a little bit more afloat than before. TWT, we talked about it going into that round. Had they lost, they'd be forced on a force buy or a really dangerous eco. And when the scoreline is this high up on the board and this close, you can't afford an eco at this point. Mame though is going to take the risk and go for the judge. Split up again. Soniqs looking for that first contact from anyone from the defensive side. And there's a mass exodus, a big rotate all the way around to A site, off of what could be some audio at the beginning of A main, it looks like. And now, it looks like it's a big game of faking everyone out. A full team-wide push again. We had seen this before. It was, I believe, Calypso hiding at the top of A tower, but there's nobody there now. That means A could be clear to push in.
Double blast pack in, they see one, Aleko at least good for one more. But With the 1-for-1 trade, those Soniqs, that's more than enough for them to at least get the spike down. And the wall being there will ensure their post plan, as all 4 of them are right in front of the spike. Now Pure looking to at least get 2, but oh, unfortunately, it's overpowered, and the res back will mean that Soniqs want to go up to 11. They want to be 2 away. They want to go to map 3. TWT wants to keep things a bit more even. They want to keep things close to the chest, but Shank denies that. It's over. Sayonara once again. Bro, why do these people keep falling? What's going on?
I don't know. So many 4Ks coming by these last 2 maps, but not a single ace just yet. We've come close. Very, very close so many times. But Soniqs, look at how many rounds it's been. 6 in a row. No timeout even from TWT. And I'm looking at the timer now. It hasn't stopped. Means no timeout just yet. Oh, geez. Ravish, Soniqs, they have found that key to victory, and that is to allow TWT to either push up or just play fast themselves. It's the literal inverse of the first half, where the sides were reversed as well. And Shank and company, oh, you know what they're going to do. They're going to go for it again and just hope for the best. But Calypso does change things. The entry, now gone. Calypso has a lot more space to work with.
This is a good start off as well. They could possibly deny 1 more. This could be ideal for themselves. Soniqs has thrived in these post plan. These retakes so far have been really, really unfortunate for TWT. And once again, they're stuck in the same position. The Blub's going wide. It's still 4v5.
Good Prowler outside of A main. May identify Crunchy. Crunchy's still holding tight. Could be good for 3 here, but he identifies himself early. That's good for 2. Good for the Breach Brim combo to find so many. Calypso! A 1v1!
You know where he is too. He looks to peek out once again. Gets him the 4K. The hero rises once again. And Calypso keeps them in the game.
The streak has been broken. 11-10. Together we're terrific. Only needs 1 more round to again tie it up. It's just like Bind all over again. The only rounds we've seen from Together We're Terrific, 2 out of 3 have been defuses. Soniqs, they've been great about taking the space of the site, collapsing it down on anybody who stands in their way. But the post plants sometimes are the only shaky part. It's only when those sky smokes fall. Players like Aleko, or I guess in the case of last round, Calypso, push forwards, and they're good for so many different frags. It goes to show how important this utility will be, and once again, Calypso caught out, Rendezvous out. He won't be able to use it for a few more seconds.
He still has that tour de force. So perhaps he might still exert that pressure. But Enjoy himself wants to body check him.
He's gonna go
let
back.
him know you're not that guy. You're just supremely not. As to force them away, this is a really tough here too. He knows he should be up against a lot of opposition. And if they lose him here early on, oh, they saw him though. They're ready for it. Shot. Oh, doesn't connect. He forced away, and now they know with him being gone, Soniqs, this is it. This is where they move in. They got the caterpillar smoke, and they get spotted. He's gone. But Mummy with the trade, but the op's still gone though. It's still not enough. Spike still goes down.
Spike planted.
Triple worm smoked out. Spotting 1, Enjoy takes down Anderson. Doesn't matter, the smokes are gone anyways. A 3v3. The orbital strike from Crunchy. He's already brought down the Molly. That's the only post playing util now to worry about. Pure wants to push forward through the fires and flames again. Last pack is out, baiting out through the smoke about the positioning. They have no idea for the defensive side. Oh, but these attackers, they're working off so little info. It's Rooney and Ian, good for 2.
It's more than enough. They're just winning these peaks every single time here, Max. And it's so free. Mame been ready for this a long time, but he knows he can't wallbang it completely. He has to try to peek this. He's running out of time. The sky smoke is there, and it's a 4K. But he just cannot defuse. Oh.
I really want to highlight that beginning interaction with Calypso and Mame, just kind of going back and forth with their utility, trying to push A main again. It goes to show how really important the team coordination and having those proper calls can be. It wouldn't be because of Mame's utility that Calypso had that second chance of life of using the tour de force to try to stifle Soniqs' push again. Now, Calypso did miss the shot, but in a reality, that could have been a game-winning play. That being said, though, you got to admire the calls from Soniqs as well. Going in, pushing through, having that spike in the ground again, and possibly the last round of Fracture, they're going to opt to do it again.
I see it right now. Soniqs ready, primed, and prepared to do so. Ooh, shot gets him. Electro's gone, and suddenly this round became a lot tougher. TWT is looking to hold strong, but 2 more gone. And I think we're going to map 3 here, Max. Soniqs does not want to fall like this. Not on Fracture. We going to Haven unless Pure has the most monstrous round we've seen him have in a long, long time. But they know where he is. He pops up.
In the smoke.
And hey. What did that be? That's 2? Wait,
1v2?
hold on. This is stunning doable. I might have called it too early. But they don't know where the rest are. They're playing offside. He still has the ult, and he can just delay and deny this at this point.
Pure's checking every corner, making no qualms about his own positioning. Some shots were returned, though. Relative idea about where the last 2 could be.
Oh. There we go.
Attackers win.
Archie peeks in. Right place, right time. And we're going to Haven.
Spike down B.
Wow, I mean, this was a game of adaptability again. And oftentimes when we cast Soniqs or cover them on the night streams, that's what it is. Adaptability, adaptability, and you'll never believe this one, adaptability. But Soniqs didn't need to adapt at all in that second half. Sure, there were micro adaptations, but the general way of pushing, the general strat book for Soniqs was just to push through, overwhelm TWT, and just make sure that there's no visibility for any of those engagements in the early to mid rounds. And that's exactly what we had seen. Soniqs did a fantastic job on their attacking executes, and we wanted to look at the initiator presence for both teams, even with a single initiator. It was Soniqs that were able to come together and use their utility, especially Sage's utility, on those attacking rounds to ensure that it would be impossible, if not at the very least chaos, for Together We're Terrific to try to retake on their own defense. The big question I have, though, Ravish, is that Fracture's not really too different from Haven in terms of size, so is that going to affect TWT when it could be their final map in the tournament?
I mean, with the way they've been aggressed upon as of right now, their defensive halves looks a little bit unfortunate, but if they don't go for these simple 1v1s, there may be a chance, but you all got to stick around to find out to see who we're going to be in the grand finals.
Welcome back to the Knights Championship, everyone. You already know who we are. We're going to talk about stats really quick. I know, your favorite part. But here's the thing. Haven is one of the most decisive maps that we could see in the entirety of this tournament. Could you believe already that we have seen so much impact from Soniqs on Haven over the last 2 months? 13 to, I believe, 9. Let me check my notes. No, 5. 13 to 5. They have won this a litany of times. Now, you might be thinking, Ravish, well, so what? 13 to 5, they're just good on Haven. Now, Elysium, Genji, Cloud9, all in this tournament alone have fallen to Soniqs Haven, and they've looked really dang good.
And the fact that Haven is our next map will mean that as of right now, TWT have got a bit of uphill battle, right? Because they've played this map the most. You know, TWT are necessarily no strangers to Haven, but they still are. They don't necessarily change up a ton of their overall playstyle. You know, they don't even take tech pauses or like actual just pauses in general. But right now, we'll be able to see what they do manage to change up. I imagine there should be a couple of adaptations, maybe perhaps in the agents they play. Nope, it's the exact same thing almost. But Soniqs, though, are famous for their Astra on here.
But what if I told you, Ravish, there was a part 2, that little stat spiel?
What's that?
2-0. Or Together We're Terrific. So far, since, not as impressive, but since, you know, the end of the last challengers, still flawless so far. And it's been about the same team composition for both sides, and I see that Astra, and immediately I'm already getting a little worried for TWT. Now, this composition would look a little familiar. If you watched XF versus Optic, it's not too far off from the same composition, but again, keep an eye on Crunchy. We've seen a lot of rotate potential and a lot of impact from Astras on Haven, and going up against an Omen here, I would say is, again, the battle between fast rotates and maybe more team-wide execution with utility, depending on the sides that are on. Soniqs should be starting off on the defense, and usually when it comes to defensive prowess, a lot of these defensive teams don't really want to change their agent composition too much. They usually keep Chamber and Astra towards the C side and Garage, and everybody else kind of looms around between A and B.
Speaking of Garage, to look at the pings as well, we might be looking at a quick Garage execute all the way down through window and then C. And from there too, they're looking to be able to move into B lane and then spawn to go check that afterwards. Shout out to TWT for literally pinging. It's like, this is wild because it looks like they're coming up with the strat as the rounds go on. So for you guys watching at home, watch that mini map and just to see what they're doing, because you'll probably get a pretty good hand at doing so. And look at that. Gonna move in through Garage, probably past window right to C, and bada bing, bada boom.
But that spike, all the way in Garage, you never see the spike there, Ravish. Why is Aleko overextending so far? They're going around the CT. They're catching Ian and everybody off guard.
Easy stuff to pistol yet again, going in the way of TWT once again with 2 left from Soniqs. It should be a pretty rightful plant, and it's just Shank left to perhaps trade 1 to stop him from being a flawless. Not even he can do that.
I think it's safe to say that was the quickest round so far we've seen in semis.
Yeah, I'd say so, definitely. But these rounds in general have been very fast.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think the gas is going to be let off the pedal anytime soon. TWT, this is a perfect map for them to go for that raw, unbridled aggression. And Soniqs, when they go on the attack themselves, could very well be the same. But there's a lot of options here for Together We're Terrific to go for rotates, lurk plays, counter plays, a lot of different plays. And oftentimes, when it comes to the attacking prowess of someone on Haven, they love to go fast, fast, fast on both A and C site. But we're not going to see that on A this time. It's more of a slow play, looking for discovery on utility. Enjoy will overextend and push out. Does find some opening shots, but it's not enough to confirm a kill.
Speaking of kills, they're considering the round 2 Vandal from Calypso is not that pixel frame. He finds the dome. That's some cap, but all right, I'll give it to you. Sees him, Pure wins the trade, unsurprisingly, and Soniqs left towards the outside once again. They got classics though, and they won 1. Never mind, that's Sheriff. He's spraying, he's winning. I'll let go. Good job.
You know, you talked about those pings, and we talked about the structure that Soniqs have, and most signed teams have over an unsigned team like Together We're Terrific. If TWT are making those strats on the fly, that adds a huge layer of unpredictability on a map like Haven. This is worrisome for Soniqs. They have to think 3 steps ahead of TWT and anticipate where the execute's going to come in from. Otherwise, this is a really tough map at times for these defenders to go for retakes, and if they lose 2 bodies in the process, like say on C potentially in 2 seconds, that's going to be incredibly tough for the 3 left alive for Soniqs.
Okay, so they're now gonna go try to look to smoke off Garage and right up, right near the generator. But okay, they get this 1 smoke down. Look, it goes. But they force him away. Takes a little bit of friendly fire, and Pure falls. It seems though TWT was not anticipating all of them to be there, and Enjoy gets another 4.
Great shutdown again. Holy, I guess not again. Great shutdown in general. The first one we've seen from Soniqs. Really nice from Enjoy to hold down C site. And oftentimes that's why we see a Chamber and an Astra hold down towards C, because most of their utility can opt into working with each other well to, even with a 2v5, can still shut down the majority of that attack. Now A site can be fast, could be slow, but knowing TWT, I don't think we're going to see a slow play here. And it looks like though Rooney and Shank are prepped for it.
So the falling goes out, so they at least push them back into the A side, and it just trays a grenade so far. It's not going to necessarily matter because as they're 3 stacked here for A, they could just push back and play for retake. But look at Shank. Wants to play first contact. There's a Nightfall, and Shank falls. I at least gets a trade, and will at least be allowed to move away. But they know where he is. Are they going to push into him? No, they'll just keep the site locked.
And this is the issue with A-Site and fast aggression. It's incredibly hard to go for a retake on A-Site if you're on the defensive side. Watching Graffiti, hiding behind short, so many different options here for the rest of TWDT to face down and hide against this small little funnel. Aftershock, after utility, Heaven plays Shore. It's Enjoy to push up here. Facing against the 1v4, there's so much utility all at once, and there are trades. but not for much longer. The IGL lasts the fall. It's 3-1 now.
And that was a tough position to actually try to aggress upon, right? Because like you were saying, there's util jumping past where they knew where they were, and as they were stacked up as 2, there was no real way they were gonna take the site back up against what was 4. So unfortunate. I thought they might have just moved away and just maybe try to push it as 5, but hey, I don't know much at all. And now Soniqs though still got enough for kind of a half buy for themselves. But TWT yet again maintaining hold on the round score.
It's A again. A little bit slower this time. A lot more discoverability. Together we're terrific have been able to find a lot of impact by pushing aggressively A, C, and B. The alphabet out of order. But now these slower rounds have yet to be checked. We don't know what TWD wants to bring out here. Enjoy. Losing that opening shot, doesn't have the tour de force anymore. Incredibly strong. That means A site could very well be open. There's no more Sentinel utility to stop any of these pushes. But there's also no trademark inside of B. If Rooney rotates off, that promotes a lot more lurk potential. Not that TWD know that yet. Acronyms, man. They don't know that yet. But there's only one on C.
Ooh. Fine crunchy. So with this and the flash as well towards the back of the site will mean that Rooney can also not move in. Now, they're still 3 strong, but up against 5 once again. Soniqs knows they have to push against this. They're all the way on the A side. It's gonna be a long rotate over. I'm trying to check half these corners. They're only left by themselves. So got for util. But look at this. They gotta check the corner at the side, but Aleko peeks it first. It's just 2 now from Soniqs, and they know it should be a save.
Yeah, definitely a good call to go for a save here if you're Soniqs. Trademark didn't find much impact there. It's actually a really dangerous trademark from Sonic's point of view, right? Because now you do have a lot of potential to see if anyone's pushing up in short, but there's also a huge lurking presence. And if we go back to Bind, Aleko, half of the rounds on the attack, he went for the deep lurk so much and found a lot of impact off of it. The only times Aleko was really stopped on those lurking rounds was when Enjoy was there to check him out. But it looks like this time won't be the case. Got to keep an eye on where that trademark's going to go, because that could definitely dictate the momentum of where Together wants to push.
The momentum right now seems to very much be in TWT's favor. We saw before that right around the half shoot where Soniqs rightfully took hold of the entire game. But this attack here, Max, is kind of nuts, but we know them to be an aggressive team. The defense is usually where they fall.
There's nobody on C.
I don't think it
There's
matters.
no utility.
Are they gonna even go C? Are they even gonna go? Ah, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, they're gonna push through garage once again. Because, yeah, like, what are they supposed to do? They know they gotta double up here at a certain point, and they use the ult, and they find the plant. Now the retake comes in, but Soniqs, though, they're up 1. So this should be, like, retrospectively, a little bit easier.
Yeah, this could be like a 400 IQ move. Going for a full team retake.
Oh. Yeah, so works out. They give up C. It's fine. Enjoy already, but oh, the way they knew. Aleko pops up. The angle isn't there, and it's just pure. And the 5-head play works. Look at that.
Wow, that's one of those plays you have to go back and VOD review. I mean, there's not like a lot to talk about, but there's also a lot to talk about at the same time. The Rolling Thunder was expended from Together's team. They used all their utility to push into C site, expecting to see Astron Chamber there, because that's the norm. That's the meta right now for Haven. But there was nobody there. It was a full retake on a map where, defensively speaking, 2 of the 3 sites are incredibly hard to retake, and C is usually one of them too. I wonder if we're going to see that more often now from Soniqs. It was a really, really risky play, but it paid off in dividends. But A site's not going to be the same case.
You say dividends as if you're saying like Doug Dimmadome.
Dog dividend. Home of the Dinsdale dividend.
Dinsdale dividend. Oh, Enjoy's blinded. And he has to move away, but that leaves a little bit more pressure. There's a lot of util, economy, I should say, still be available on TWT. Try to just move it to the site. Soniqs, they're just kind of 1 orb away from denying it, specifically the ult on Ethan.
The one's on A site. Again, retakes for A, incredibly hard. Oftentimes you have to have a body on site just because it's so hard to retake. You just have to do some damage before the space is taken. Fuera is going to do that though. Takes the space, pulls a Zekin, takes an hell sight, and usually could be good for a 3K, but there's nobody there. Soniqs are just waiting, biding their time, shutting down that lurk, and Joy knew the trademark was in a different spot. And now off this Nightfall, it's going to be chaos.
Oh, so Stopper actually works out the moment again with a spray, although he can't hear nothing. He still sees you. That's enough. That's just switch out to the classic, but oh, he gets run down by Crunchy, and now Calypso. Ready once again, out past the wall. You know he doesn't hear the tap, and he baits it in. The swing! Okay, all right. I see how you dancing, and let's tango, baby.
Ooh, I want to see that flick again. That didn't look like it was anywhere near Aleko. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Rooney.
Yeah. That's a body shot. A body shot.
Okay. All right. Nice. That kind of just took the just took the breath out of me. Wow. I like the counter lurk. I was worried about the counter lurk on Soniqs' end, but Enjoy had that covered, and now the trademark is back in its usual spot. I guess they don't have to worry about anything now that the lurker's dead.
Enjoy knows the pixel angle too. Flash, gone. Yep. Alt line will at least slow him down, but now with INOS is taken away. Crunchy's moved into the corner. Oh, and a good swing in from Mummy as well. Moving as to the holding pinkies. It's good enough. There's two left right now. You to get again from Soniqs. This is a save, so they know they're not hoping for a ton. As long as they get two, I'm sure they've done their jabs. And Shock, as a second, he has a gun now too. Hey.
2v3. Rolling Thunder could come into play here, especially now that this is a 2v2. Ooh, it might be a hard sell. Mame is actually super close to the spike. I don't think he's going to risk the Rolling Thunder here, but he does have an Aftershock.
One enemy remaining.
Sprays have been so clutch from Mummy previously, and with them finding that 90-degree angle, it's that A squared plus B squared equals see you later square.
I don't know that math problem. I never passed a math test.
Same. Don't worry. I got 15 stats, bro. I'm just here.
Yeah, once they introduced fractions, like one number above another, I couldn't do anymore. I checked out.
You know, I'm just not about all these hierarchies happening for numbers, all right? I just want everybody to be even. That's what's up.
Yeah, I agree. And no letters in those equations. That really messes me up.
Exactly. Letters belong on food menus and nowhere else. But right now, we got to look at is how TWT is going to look to rush down onto A once again. But the three stacked, or the three stacked the same way from Soniqs, it seems as the fault line will perhaps dissuade them. I'll let go.
Oh, he tried. He went for the solo initiation, but everyone else is playing super slow. Aleko found a wealth of info. He could have used Prowlers at the same time, but he just didn't. That's going to leave an interesting battle here. Enjoy Calypso. Possibly spelling out for a rotate. Anderson, though, with the rotate, the spot's out at least one, but looks like the call's been made to maybe reroute themselves back over to B, or maybe even Garage, what we saw in Pistols. Hard to tell what the next move will be. It looks like it's set up for a B execute.
Exactly right, and considering they use the Aftershock to delay it, Rooney just cannot handle it against all that spray, but with Enjoy being the next target, that will mean that Crunchy now has to try to get two. Okay, it clears out one, it's more than enough, and they're delayed. 40 seconds left on the clock. It's more than enough for TWT to ensure they can at least get the spike down, but still they're being run over, but it seems like there's a little bit faster.
Score update. It's 7-2. Together We're Terrific is looking fantastic on these executes, and normally I would talk about the early, mid, and late round, but it feels like there's not really a mid round. It's just the start of the round, you find a pick, and then the round's over because the spike's already down. And these just rush downs onto a site has been working out unbelievably. And again, this is the meta right now for Haven. A lot of the times, the big faulting factor for these defensive teams is the slow rotates that are required on a big map like Haven. And here we go on A again. Just try to shut down this fast aggression. Do what you can.
The exact same util, the exact same play, the exact same look from Aleko once again. But I think this time they was definitely ready for it. The Nightfall out, and oh, the Prowler sees him, so he knows he has to back away. Does he actually pretty aggressively though is the question. Far to just be utiled up after utiled up, but it's easy take for Aleko. Shunk is gone. Nightfall still there. But Rooney leak it once more. They find both of them on site. And no being faced, I'm afraid of the dark, but all I see right now is the light and TWT moving to B.
There's the trademark that will identify the core push of all of this. It was destroyed regardless, so no slowdown just yet. Pure, though, is going to use this opportunity to push forwards and enjoy. Good for the quick scope. No musket bayonet in play. It's Pure to find enjoy instead. 3 left alive. Maybe make it 1 now for Soniqs. And it's an eco regardless. Pure good for 3, and Calypso on the shutdown. 2 to 8 for Sonic's side.
You know, if Enjoy didn't scope in there, he might have actually got that shot. Now, it's a no scope, so it's a low chance, but if he gets that, things go very differently. But no scoping it with an op is so tough, man. There's just absolutely no option. But hey, on the other end still, TWT, a dominant lead. They want to get things over and done with and move on to grands. And they're only 5 rounds away from doing so.
Enjoy is 13-2. Looking really good. Just finding and shutting down these opening contacts sometimes, but oh boy. That being said, I'm sorry, it's Calypso. Good for shutting it down once again, but regardless though, early util outside of sewers doesn't connect to a whole lot. There's gonna be another prowler to come by. Does connect onto 1 on short. It's not gonna do a lot though. Together we're terrific. The last 2 rounds, they've been baiting out their utility to push A, but they haven't made that dedication to push into sight. This is where things could be turning different. Calypso, again, might be good to find an angle on Rooney here, depending on the strafe. It's all just to see who can make the next move here. Smoke goes down on top of Heaven's side, promotes more of an A side attack.
Slow with bated breath as they move in. It's a good fault line as well, but a trade will at least allow the conference of Soniqs to reign supreme. A spike will be planted, but just barely after having to wait out the aftershock. But in the meantime, I like to get to the trade on the person on Heaven will mean that the A site is once again on lockdown for TWT, and every single time this has happened, Soniqs have had the hardest time looking to make the way back. And for reasons like that, there's not much utility to use, and they gotta back away. And right at the last couple of seconds, they find them. Anderson gets spotted, luckily at the last couple of seconds, but the shot missing will mean it's 9-2, off is gone.
One good benefit about having Omen here for the attack is that despite Aleko playing the large lurking role for Together's side, Anderson's able to use his Shrouded Step or his Dark Cover smokes to block out the usual trademark that you see inside of B to just completely bypass literally all the Sentinel utility that Soniqs can bring out. That means despite there being an anti-lurk presence inside of B, that could be bypassed completely and go for a flank like we just saw last round. Now that's an option Soniqs have to really consider, and a double stack on this B, really good option, but Crunchy goes down and there's no more grab well or anything to stop this push.
This is so rough right now, and it's Soniqs, though they have to do something to take this round back. A 9-3 would be the best possible option, but Enjoy wants to ensure that too. Mama yet again with these sprays, he keeps on doing it, but Rooney, right with the nightfall. Okay, that put out gives them the option for him to try to move in, only Bulldog in hand, but he sees where they at, but they also see him. They also do see him. Easy.
Switching sides.
The little tendrils coming out from like the Nightfall and the Haunt are so cool because again, you can chain your prowlers onto them and they turn into like a little trolley. They just go like boop, boop, and they just like go on forwards into the enemy. But Aleko and Rooney both use their prowlers so early into a round that we just haven't. Aleko? Oh, that was a replay. I was like, wait, what? But it's oftentimes where we just haven't seen that kind of interaction come into play because the prowlers come out so early. And now again, 10-2, Ravish. This has been rough for Soniqs.
Bro, Calypso's 8-3.
Yeah, that's wild.
Let's just point that
12-7 from Pure, 11-5 from Mame. Like all of these stat lines are looking so good for Together.
Gonna make sense, right? They barely even died. Oh, but the 2 taken away in the beginning, these next 2 pistols are crucial right now for Soniqs, and they're doing everything in their power to make sure that things go their way. Fantastic start, but Anderson, if you can get 2 here, this could be a real possibility without dying. He chases them. He wants the knife. Oh, 3! Almost, but Mummy helps in the collection, and Rooney's the last one left. How did that go so wrong? Everything was so close. Rooney last one left again. Wow.
What do you even say? What do you even say for a pistol like that? Wow, that's wow. That's all we got, man. 11-2. It's just that raw aggression. Look at the scoreboard.
Dude, that
How
just
many
sucks.
rounds?
Honestly, that just sucks.
Yeah, that's like 7 rounds in a row. Together, we're terrific. They want to go to grand finals. And this isn't just like any other grand finals, like, you know, the typical Gauntlet. This is like the championship circuit for a lot of money.
It's now or never. It's do or die. Technically not, but oh,
Good
Rooney gets it
reversal.
again. Dude, these pixel angles have been working out well for Soniqs this round, okay? The aggressive peaks are not working out, unfortunately. Anderson getting 1, but not getting 3 this time, but I'm sure he'll be happy with the one he got for free. The jump shot from Rooney to find the let go. What is this round? Why are they just running into them?
Anderson,
Okay,
no.
okay.
This is an analyst nightmare.
Tell me why.
It's ain't nothing but a really aggressive attack. It's one of those things where just everything devolves. It's just gunfight city, playing utility for themselves. And on the bright side, Valorant is just, you know, such a dynamic game that you can go for that and it works out well for you. It's really keeping both teams on their toes, and Soniqs at least stifles the bleeding a little bit. They're 13-11 still, but they won their anti-eco and they're able to buy up a lot more weaponry here, and, well, together they're put on the back heel again. But they're certainly going to try to contest early on sewers.
I mean, the Calypso being able to find 1 means the contestants going their way. Pierce stuck in the corner with no health. He's just gone. Yeah, see you later, buddy. That wasn't happening. But Anderson actually getting caught up by sewers means that now Soniqs have a real shot at this round. But look, all these angles are holding. TWT does not care. Flash, gone. All right, this was taken care of. Easy peasy. Soniqs know they got the advantage. And my man has a shorty. Does he peek out and actually try this?
Where in the world's Aleko?
Okay.
He's hiding in that box.
They're just gonna wait for him. I know he wants them to peek into him, because if he moves out, he dies. Oh no, he spotted. Tragedy.
Ooh, 4-11. I mean, Soniqs are playing with the devil right now, pretty much, right? Like, they are on the edge. If they lose a single round, they could very well turn the tides and lose. Turn the tides in a bad way. But if they can keep racking their eco up round after round, even if they have to go to match points super early, it's not all is lost. They can start banking up those ultimates. They can start banking up their economy. They could just hold nice and steady. Obviously, we can see Ian with still that Spectre, not out of the woods yet, but these are the more typical defensive plays that we normally see. Nebula is up. Oftentimes, teams like to wait out the Nebula, then push forwards as it goes down with their utility. But they're using their U2 early, and they get punished for it.
So finds the initial, but the re-return works out well, and Anderson to beat with the move out through garage will net them positively. But plant money still going towards Soniqs, and it's kind of a broken buy. And for TWT, they don't got a ton of shield, so their first shots have to count. The dash use early, and now up to Calypso left alone once again. Rooney's ready for the clutch.
That was such an important 1v1. Everything we talked about before the round had begun culminated in that single 1v1 interaction at the end. Had Rooney lost that, again, match point, the eco would not have been built up enough for Soniqs. But now we can take a deep breath and see how this goes forward again. Soniqs spread themselves out a little bit more. Spike in the hands of Rooney could be a default play. There is the anti-lurk trademark placed outside of A site 2 or A lobby. We have to see what the next move will be. A lot together, hiding outside B, looking to push forwards and find aggression early in Haystack. That's off the default line.
Still close by, though, for all of them. I know these rounds were so fast previously, I'll let go. No way, bro.
Oh, no.
The point blank headshot, he gets the Vandal. And now Soniqs know where he is. But yeah, he can just move away, and this gives Calypso the space to take a really aggressive shot, but enjoy. Ooh, a little bit of Pika's advantage.
All because of that damn trademark. It was smoked over. Aleko could just push up. It's tough. Oh, and another one spotted out. A 3v3.
He wasn't ready. He's still caught though. Spike's still in neutral position, funny enough. So there's just, it's become a death match at this point, Max.
Pretty much. But like, Soniqs, there's 40 seconds left and they haven't really gained any map control. They're eyeing towards B. Wouldn't be a bad option, except for Jet on the other side of Connector. Smoked off though. Forces Pure to push up, just hiding away and... Oh no. What? Pure finds the showstopper!
Like Marshall shot. Oh, that sucks. That's awful. But hey,
what do you say to that?
Nothing, bro. You just hold that, you keep it quiet, and you stay in comms. Nobody say nothing. All right, you let that go. Oh, but Aleko finds the deep lurk to get Anderson up on top. They want to make it a match point. Crunchy left by himself is 2v1 they're defusing. Gradual put out. Okay, they stop him for a couple of seconds. Paranoia, he don't see nothing. And he goes bye-bye.
5-12. Everything we talked about so far about Soniqs needs to be put to the test now. Let's see what the buys and the eco look like here. That's gonna be the most interesting facet, and it's not looking great, but Enjoy does have the tour de force. And one big strong aspect that I like about Chamber is his economy management. Tour de force, headhunters, means on pistol round, he can usually buy up for somebody on your team. That means things can be a lot more afloat, more than normal, and often why with Chamber versus Chamber, we don't see as many eco rounds. And so Enjoy does go for safety, does buy the Spectre as well. And now what is the next play for Soniqs going to be? Hiding over the Nebula, and Mummy hiding inside the Nebula down below.
The random spray yet again from Mummy right through the smoke. He read it well, and now as they move in, the Rolling Thunder does more than enough to at least just force them backwards, but Spike still hasn't gone down. Soniqs haven't committed. They wanted to push through the wall, but they're still moving in. They're waiting. Look at this half we have. It's like a pizza pie that you want to be able to take, but the halves get put into a hole, and right now Soniqs are getting chopped up. You call TWT the butchers with the way they're cutting them in half. Rooney left alone once again. It's 2v1. But they don't got the money to be able to take their meat home. That's it. TWT are going to the finals.
Wow. An unsigned team, the only unsigned team, making it all the way to the grand finals from semis, no less. Unbelievable Haven game here, and it goes so far away from what we've been seeing, even the highest echelons of Valorant so far. They were just able to play off these small interactions. That Aleko flank again. So many odd and wild plays in the final matchup here. Culminates again to the grand finals. We at least have our first, and let me tell you, it's gonna be a wild ride to see grand finals too, Ravish.
Yes, sir. Ski. The way we look at it right now, TWT is seeming almost unstoppable, but it's getting tougher and tougher as of right now. Now, we do know on second stream, Dark Zero is up currently. So the fact that with these two styles colliding in between them, it could be a really fascinating time. But right now, the train is going full speed ahead. Choo-choo, Max.
Choo-choo indeed. So it will be a bit of a break while we wait to see who wins between DZ and OXG Academy. But in the meantime, while we're on break, get the new gaming tech off of eBay with up to 50% off the latest gear. With free shipping on top brands like Microsoft, Razer, HyperX, and many more, you can find everything you need just at the right price. So check out the deals at pks.gg/eBay. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, pretty much everything you see here is from eBay. It's been the saving grace for me in esports, so you should go check it out while we're on break.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.